Good evening, college esports fans, and welcome to the second week of the Pacific Alliance of Collegiate Gamers Spring Tournament. My name is Jerem Solar Norris, and I'm here with my Hearthstone mastermind, Brandon Aluna Barr.
And today we're casting live from the historic Einar Nielsen Fieldhouse at the University of Utah in Salt Lake City. So now we're going to be seeing some competitive Hearthstone. It's good? Okay, sorry. So now we're going to be seeing some competitive Hearthstone. So, some of you might be new to this tournament, so can you tell me how the tournament works?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the PACG. So for those of you that don't know, the PACG is a group of schools from the Pac-12 conference who've gotten together to host not one, but 4 tournaments. One for League of Legends, Overwatch, Hearthstone, and Rocket League. For the next 7 weeks, the best players from 11 schools are going to go head-to-head every weekday night in the group stages. Players of Hearthstone will be playing on Thursday nights, starting at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 6 p.m. Pacific. schools will be split into the North region and a South region, and each school will have the chance to face every other school in their region in a best-of-5 conquest format match. 8 schools are participating in this Hearthstone tournament. At the end of the group stage, the top 3 teams from each region are going to go to the playoffs, a single elimination bracket with the top team advancing directly to the semifinals. Finally, it all ends on finals week when the final games for League of Legends, Overwatch, Hearthstone, and Rocket League all going to be played on the same week.
Awesome. Let's take a look at who's playing this season.
So in this Hearthstone South Division, we have the University of Arizona, Arizona State, UCLA, and USC.
And in the North Division, we have the University of Colorado, University of Oregon, University of Stanford, and University of Utah.
All right, but let's get right into what we're going to be seeing tonight. Tonight, we have 3 matchups that we're going to be showing you.
The first matchup tonight, we have the Colorado Buffaloes versus the Oregon Ducks.
And after that, we're going to watch the Arizona State Sun Devils take on the UCLA Bruins.
And finally, in the third matchup tonight, we have a show match between the USC Trojans against the Stanford Trees.
The Stanford Trees. Yeah, like we said, that last match is going to be a show match. So the first 2 matches are going to count towards the rankings for the tournament, but the last one is not.
No, so it's basically just going to be a display of skill between the 2 teams, seeing who can just play better, who can bring better decks, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch USC go against Stanford because they normally wouldn't play each other in the regular tournament, but we're going to get to watch them play anyways. So yeah, while we're preparing for the players to get ready, why don't we take a look at who's going to be our first matchup? The University of Colorado versus the University of Oregon. Colorado's players tonight are going to be Ragnar, Flameheart, and Zephos, and they've brought with them a Q-Block, a big Spell Mage, an OTK Paladin, and a big Priest.
And the University of Oregon players, Zachor Chang and Tate DeGreat, brought a Tempo Mage, a Cube Warlock, Kingsbang Millrogue, and a Murloc Paladin.
Yeah. Now, as you can see here, both teams have banned their opponent's Q-Block.
Standard.
Which, yeah, it seems to be the pattern that we've seen both this week and last week. But we have a couple of other interesting decks here. Both players still have a Paladin, granted very different Paladins.
Oh, different doesn't even begin to describe these 2 decks. OTK Paladin is a very slow deck. It has the option to go fast with a good hand with Call to Arms and Sunkeeper Tarim, but typically it's a very slow deck that wants to kill you in 1 turn with the combo. Murloc Paladin just wants to kill you in the face by turn 5. That's the ideal scenario for that deck.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see OTK Paladin get played tonight because that's a deck that we haven't seen yet. This Murloc Paladin is interesting because it is running Finja, which is in and out of Murloc Paladin builds right now.
I personally have not seen any Finja at all. It's a cool card, though, because it can either be used alongside Sunkeeper Tarim to set up an insane Megasaur turn for the following turn, or it can be used to set up a Sunkeeper Tarim turn. It's kind of heavy for... It's kind of heavy for an aggro deck, though. It's a 5-drop. It's a 5 mana 2/4, and if it pops off, it's great. It's just until it does that, it's very underwhelming. It doesn't have immediate impact.
And if it pops off well, getting you the cards you need instead of Grimscale Chums or Vilefin Inquisitors.
If you get 2 Murloc War Leaders off of that, it's insane.
Yeah. But yeah, this Tempo Mage, I'm actually not super familiar with how common this Tempo Mage build is on the ladder.
Potion of Polymorphs are in there for the sole purpose of killing a lackey or any demon that comes out of a Warlock's hand.
Let's see. The Tempo Mage is not running Potion of Polymorph. The Big Spell Mage is. Is that what you're talking about? The Big Spell Mage is running a few secrets. Counterspell, Explosive Runes, Ice Block, and Potion of Polymorph. That's more than a few secrets.
Oh,
wait, maybe that's... Oh.
There's Potion of Polymorph.
I think I just have it written wrong. That would be a tempo mage. I started saying all these secrets, and I was like, why is Big Spell running so many secrets?
Yeah.
They're not.
That is a
Tempo mage
that
is
a
running
tempo mage.
secrets.
That is
Big Spell mage is not. First mistake of the night.
It's good. It's good.
This Big Spell mage, though, that's the one I want to talk about because I have not particularly played this Big Spell mage myself. But Syndragosa, Alexstrasza, the Curator, it's not just big spells, it's big minions.
It's more like a controlly N'Zoth. Instead of winning in fatigue, it wants to hopefully get a N'Zoth off and win that way. It wants to play its Syndragosa, get the Frozen Champions, have an 8/8 and lots of value off of that card. It still has the fatigue option, but it's in there to beat control decks before that it gets to that point.
Right.
Half the time.
Right. All right. And our cube locks are banned, which seems kind of odd because it seems like a couple of these decks are specifically built to fight against cube lock.
Yeah. So the Tempo Mage from University of Oregon, they run Potion of Polymorphs.
That's Colorado. No,
it's University of Oregon.
Oh my gosh. Okay, my notes. I understand now.
Yes.
You're right.
So
Oregon's.
they're bringing Potion of Polymorph in their Tempo Mage, and the best targets in the metagame for those are all in Cube Warlock, like all of them. You have the cubes, you have the lackeys, you have Void Lords, you have Doom Guards, just demons. Period. Even Mistress of Mixtures can be a solid hit sometimes. Now, the one cute thing it does do is if you order it properly, if you play Potion of Polymorph first and then Explosive Runes, you can take the fact that it's probably not that good in that matchup because Potion of Polymorph is extremely underwhelming to just hard run in your deck. But if you play it before you play a Explosive Runes, basically same turn or one turn then the next, if you play Potion of Polymorph then Explosive Runes, it'll transform it into a sheep and then do 5 damage to the face.
Yep.
So that's one cute thing you can do with it.
Yeah. Other than that, we have. So let me see. 2 or 7. Nope. 6 secrets in this deck.
That's a lot.
That is a lot of secrets. Of course, because we're running that many secrets, we're also running Cabal Crystal Runner, Kirin Tor Mage, Medivh Valet. It's
standard tempo mage.
I mean, this is basically a secret mage at this point.
Oh yeah, secret mage, tempo mage, they are the same thing.
Yep. So yeah, Kingsbane Rogue though, that's one that I always love to watch.
I'm a Warlock player.
Yeah.
I play a lot of Warlock. That deck makes me sad.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was you were saying that deck is also specifically built to kind of control Warlock.
Yeah, it generally just beats Warlock. Just all kinds of Warlock. It's unfavored against Zoo, but Zoo doesn't really exist. It's a good deck, but people don't really play it because of the prevalence of Cube Lock, Control Warlock. They're too good. And it just dumpsters those decks. If you don't have Skull, you just get ruined by Vanish and Prep. I mean, not Prep, just Hap.
Yeah.
You just lose so much tempo. You lose all the things you want to do with that deck. You just lose the ability to do it without the Skull. Just hard dumpsters.
So with the University of Oregon running Tempo Mage and Kingsbane Rogue, why do you think that they still chose to ban Colorado's Cube Lock?
Warlock is scary.
Warlock's just too good?
I'm trying to think about it. Warlock's scary. I understand.
It's pretty annoying to play against too. And this is the Cube Lock that is running. Colorado's Cube Lock is running N'Zoth, which often can bring things back even after Kingsbane has sent them away.
So the evolution I've been seeing of Cube Lock since the patch is that they're starting to take the Mountain Giants and Coils out and do other things with those.
Okay.
They're trying to put N'Zoth to be greedy, hopefully beat the Control Warlock.
Okay.
And I saw Zalay even put in Twilight Drakes instead of Mortal Coils.
Okay.
I played that list a lot. It's sick.
All right. Well, it looks like we're getting right into this first match here. Right here into the mulligan phase. And Oregon has already completed their mulligan, getting that Lich King and Psychic Screen in the opening hand. Not great.
Now, this is... Now, I feel like this is a slightly polarizing matchup.
Yeah.
Not on the Murloc Paladin side, but on the Priest side. It's very dependent on what they draw.
Mm-hmm.
If they draw any of their removal, like not any of their removal, if they draw a significant portion of their removal, I feel like the game is easy and it plays out kind of just, hey, you have minions, I kill the minions. It's not really much of a challenge, but if they don't draw that removal, it is one of the hardest games of their life.
Yeah, this is one of the matchups that I found myself in several times playing as Big Priest this last week. Is against Murloc Paladin. If you can remove their cards in the early game, then they can run out of steam really fast. But if you can't, then they will beat you before you can do anything.
Yeah.
Even with cards like Shadow Word Horror, can easily be rendered unusable by Murloc War Leader, by any other cards that buff your Murlocs beyond.
But if you don't have a board full of Murlocs, you don't buff them up with any kind of Tarim effect. Tarim effect, Gentle Megasaur, Murloc War Leader. You don't buff those minions up. You don't buff the Murlocs up. Shadow Word Horror on its own solos almost any board you put on against them. Not to mention, if you put Pint-Sized Potion in the mix, it doesn't matter what this Murloc Paladin plays, it will get cleared. Unless, outside of like a Murloc being buffed by War Leader with Blessing of Kings. That is about it. That's the only thing that escapes the Pint-Sized Horror combo.
Right. So Oregon here, throwing it all out there. And so, unfortunately, I think the Shadow Word Horror is pretty eminent
it
here.
gets snap played here every time.
And it's going to... Oregon didn't have that many Murlocs in their opening hand. And so they're not losing a lot of that, but they're losing all of that first two-turn tempo. And 4 minions is a lot.
Yeah. But now we just play Call to Arms and everything's okay.
Call to Arms, saving grace here.
That was a really quick Barnes. Not saying it was wrong. I love playing Barnes when I can play Barnes.
Yeah.
But
and in this deck, well, they had the Shadow Word Pain, which might have been a good play against the Tide Caller.
yeah, so the reason I'm even complaining a little bit about Barnes is because, yes, Tide Caller is a scary creature.
Yeah.
It is a menace. And you have to think about what the Big Priest has in their deck right now. What are you pulling to, improve your position? You already have an Obsidian Statue and a Lich King in your hand. You're going to either pull your Charge, an Obsidian Statue, or Ysera. One of those cards is impactful.
I would say
well, Yshard
two of those cards are kind of impactful.
So one of them is impactful all the time because...
Because the Ysarge will pull, or...
I'm thinking of Obsidian Statue.
Yeah, the statue. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking Ysarge and Obsidian Statue are both fairly impactful.
Yeah, they are. I personally don't like pulling Ysarge against aggro decks, though. It feels very scary. If you pull Ysera, it is a nightmare.
Yeah, which is what happened.
Like, you pull Ysarge into Ysera, and this same thing still happens.
Luckily, we were talking before the broadcast about how Colorado is running the Embrace the Shadow Circle of Healing, which is a big anti-aggro tool.
Yes, I love seeing that in Big Priest because you kind of beat control by default. This deck can get fatigued by a lot of control decks, but the control decks have to draw their removal usually in a specific sequence to be able to beat it.
And Colorado did it was very fortunate that Colorado pulled that out there.
Yeah, was that a top deck? I wasn't paying enough attention. Was that a top deck Circle of Healing?
It was a top deck. I missed if they, well, I'm not sure if it was a top deck or if it was a a draw, like they drew something or Embrace the Shadows or something. But luckily, Big Priest has made it to turn 8.
Yeah. This is going to be a nightmare for the. This is gonna be a nightmare for the Murloc Paladin.
Mm-hmm.
They had everything they could have wanted or needed. It's just Big Priest just drew the removal.
Yeah.
In time, barely too. That would have, if they didn't draw that Circle of Healing, they would have been dead. Dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so at this point, Oregon doesn't have very many options available to them. Meanwhile, Colorado still has this Obsidian Statue, which will allow them to regain health. They have a dead Ysera, which they can summon back with Eternal Servitude. Colorado has so many options.
Yeah, you can just jam the Obsidian Statue. I kind of like dreaming this Megasaur. It's a pain in my side. I want it gone.
Yeah.
I want it. It's 4 mana. He had to spend. Oregon had to spend last turn. I want him to spend it again, and I want to hit you in the face for 8. That's what I'm thinking right now. Just jam face and dream, because if you kill Oregon, they're dead.
Yeah.
You don't have to deal with him anymore. You get to play another game.
Looks like Colorado is going to hang on to that dream. Trying to think of what else they could be saving that for. Certainly not Sunkeeper Tarim.
No. But potentially a Blessing of King's target. A scary Murloc. I don't know. I see a very small hand, and I think that it looks pretty dead. I kind of want to make it feel a little bit more useless.
Oh, we're going to get some more Death Knight cards in here. Oh, and
yeah.
Oregon's not even going to wait. And our first match goes to University of Colorado in a pretty quick matchup.
Yeah, after that Circle of Healing draw, there wasn't much hope.
There wasn't many places to go from there.
No, because then you start getting into Psychic Scream territory, Dragon Fire Potions live.
Yeah,
so much removal.
Big Priest runs a lot of removal specifically for this reason.
Yeah.
Of being very weak to aggro decks without it.
They have like 4 minions in their deck. Well, literally 7, but they have 7 minions and they have 2 substitutes for it. But they're big minions. They're all expensive. They need to get to those turns to live.
All right, so we're gonna go into game 2.
You asked for it.
Colorado
playing
their Colorado is playing the big spell mage.
Tempo mage. Mana Worm is tempo.
You're right.
But what I'm really excited
I thought
about
Oregon
is
was playing the tempo mage.
Colorado is playing what the?
But something's wrong with our notes or something.
Yeah, Colorado's deck list doesn't match what I'm seeing on. Whoa.
Yeah, I think that we just have the sides reversed. University of Oregon is on the top, and University of Colorado is on the bottom. I wonder if that was the case the last time, and it was actually Colorado.
Okay, so Colorado is playing their OTK.
Colorado is playing Big Priest. Colorado won last game. Okay, sorry for that, for those problems there. Yeah, the sides. Colorado is on the bottom, and University of Oregon is on the top.
Well, no, now it's fixed.
Oh, you're right. Now it is fixed.
Now it's fixed.
Only in the mulligan phase was it wrong.
Because Colorado is now playing the OTK Paladin.
Yes.
OTK Paladin with double Stonehill Defender and Call to Arms. If there is no counter spell, this might not even be a close game. Because Tempo Mage really struggles against techs that build a board and don't let them progress their game plan, which is hitting you in the face and burning you out over the top after turn 6. If Colorado gets the board, it's going to be very hard for Oregon to get anything on board to stick, to do damage, to set them in range for their burn, their Pyroblast, their Fireballs, their Frostbolts to connect with face and actually do lethal damage. Rallying Blade was a sick draw. Mana Worm is a problem. If at any time you can get rid of it, you probably should. Responsible. Yeah. If there was a counterspell in hand, you'd probably want to play that over the Explosive Runes. Explosive Runes, Ice Block, or the Arcanologist.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the counterspell was the secret. Oh.
Yeah. Turn 4 Call to Arms, just too strong. It
That
doesn't
is
matter
not a good board.
No, you hate seeing a Dirty Rat with no downside. Dirty Rat with no downside is a very strong card. Loot Hoarder, free. I like it. What does Oregon need to win this game, though? Like, what can they pull out of their deck to have a chance now? Because this is going to be rough. There's a weapon on board to prevent any damage from any minions sticking in the next couple turns. We have a board. Colorado has a board that's going to continue to chip away at the mages, Oregons. Consecration is a card that typically does very well against low health minions. Granted, it doesn't really kill most of Tempo Mage's things. They're at the benchmark of 3 health, but combined with there are qualities in the deck. So Quality Consecrate's always a good combo, but combined with the Pyro, it tends to kill almost everything in the deck, outside of the Cabal Crystal Runners. Second Call to Arms.
Second Call to Arms. Hopefully, Colorado's already played 1 Call to Arms. 2 secrets are down, and so the chances of one of them being a counterspell, I think, are pretty high.
Yeah, astronomically.
And so
Let me think.
You can almost pin these on exactly Explosive Runes counterspell.
yeah.
Most of the time. You know one of them is an Explosive Runes or a counterspell, though. It's just figuring out which one.
And at this point, I mean, Stonehill Defender, I feel like is the right play against.
You take 2 damage from
Yeah.
Explosive Runes. You draw a card, potentially a card that you can put on board.
Yeah.
Plus, you don't get your Call to Arms counterspelled.
Looks like they're going to try and trigger the counterspell.
Just set up for Call to Arms next turn. I respect the play. I think it's decent. It really gets dumpstered by second counterspell, though. Because now you don't have any spells to activate it, and
I'm late.
this is gonna be a rough game.
Although that adaptation draw seems like a pretty good.
That is a way.
That
to
was
draw
exactly
counterspell.
what the
Yeah.
Paladin wanted. Oh, that board is not good
No, it is not.
for our
Oh,
Tempo Mage.
It's good for Colorado. Colorado likes that board.
We have many secrets.
Let's see. How does Colorado take the least amount of damage? They probably just. I'm struggling to think of it.
Colorado
This is
has.
tough. Secrets play mind games.
Yeah.
And they're thinking, how do we take the least amount of damage?
We've seen both counterspells.
Yeah, they know.
We
they
know that one's probably know one's Explosive Runes.
Colorado, if they know that, if they were looking at the deck list, they know it's exactly Explosive Runes, Ice Block.
The only other option is pushing a Polymorph.
Oregon Runes. That's right, they do.
Yep.
I forgot.
So it could be pushing a Polymorph
could.
and Explosive Runes.
It could. It could.
Either way, attacking face is going to reveal, and
They're trading. You trade.
yeah.
Do you trade? No, you don't play the weapon here. You want to develop taunt so that things never connect with your face. That way, next Explosive Runes does not destroy what you do. You can always develop the weapon next turn and clear that. See, my problem with playing the Rallying Blade is you take 4 damage. 4
Yeah.
damage is a lot of
And
damage.
Colorado is at kind of a. Well, they were at a kind of. Their 17 health is a kind of dangerous place to be in.
They
The
converted.
6 armor helps that.
Yeah, they converted their board advantage with they leverage their life total and their board advantage to just get to a state where they're running the mage out of resources. The mage has to use burn on minions, not face.
Right.
That's where they're at right now, but now they're not ahead enough on board to where they can solidly rely on that plan anymore. Now Oregon's going to be kind of like, okay, well, we're just going to burn him in the face. We don't care about his board. His board's not... Now the board's big enough. Prior to this, the board wasn't big enough. They don't really care. They have a Pyroblast in hand anyway. They want to go face.
Army of the Dead
We have many.
is not my favorite Death Knight card.
No. No. Army of the Dead is pretty much exclusively good in aggro decks.
Yeah.
Big Priest. That's it. Oh, Big Druid. If anyone still plays Big Druid, it is sick in that deck. I will take some free 12/12s. I enjoy those. You have to fireball the Lich King, but at the same time, you can't kill him if you do that.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause if you don't fireball the Lich King eventually starts to outvalue you and you die. So if you don't draw your burn, you just lose by default anyway.
Yeah. It looks like Oregon is... They're considering that, but they're also considering... They've got the Ice Block up. They've got a Pyroblast in hand.
But Lich King cards draw heal 1/6 of the time. That's not a thing they want to play with. They want to make sure that the opponent doesn't draw any healing, so they can win.
Well met.
And using that, like...
Whoa!
Oh!
Whoa!
Oh, no!
Whoa!
So much for Army of the Dead.
It's not the greatest card, but when your deck is mostly minions
Call
at this
it,
point,
that's it. There was no way Oregon could come back from that. Wow.
Army of the Dead pulling 5 minions is incredibly satisfying.
Yes, and one Tyrion.
Free Tyrions are fun.
Free Tyrions are always fun. 6 mana Tyrion. Plus, I don't. What are 2 Burgly Bullies?
2 Burgly Bullies, Auction Master Beardo,
Auction Master Beardo,
a Tyrion.
and Dirty Rat. I think that was the other one.
Yeah.
Wow, that is insane. So
That's a lot. That's a lot of stats.
yeah, Oregon has gotten extremely unlucky. 2 games in a row now. It's really unfortunate. So
Really good draws from Colorado.
yeah, Colorado also.
Clutch draws and key moments.
Colorado has 1 deck left, the Mill Kingsbane Rogue, that they need to win with.
This deck does not do well against aggro.
Oh wait, that's not Colorado. That's Oregon's. These are swapped. Yeah.
Okay.
So Colorado's 1 deck left is Big Spell Mage,
This deck...
and
Okay, so
Oregon is pulling out their Mill Rogue.
Big Spell Mage is one of the decks that gets kind of wrecked by Mill Rogue.
Yeah.
It really struggles against the saps, the vanishes, because all their minions are super heavy. Not to
Yeah.
mention that their removal doesn't really hit anything that well. You kind of have to use it efficiently because they don't run many minions in the Mill Rogue. So if they don't run minions, your Blizzard doesn't do anything. If your Flame Strikes don't hit anything, you're eventually going to hit 10 cards in your hand. You have to get these out of your hand. So removal in this matchup usually just does nothing. You're pretty much saving Polymorphs and Meteors for the... I'm struggling to remember the name of the card. It's the 4/4 Pirate with Death Rattle. I've
The 4/4 Pirate with Death Rat. Oh, the Squid Face.
yes.
South Sea Squid Face.
Yes. I've seen that card a
I should
million
just
times.
assume that it has South Sea in its name.
I've seen that card a million times. I have never read its name. I just know that's 4/4 Squidman.
Our Mill Rogue's off to a pretty good start. Already got the Cold Light Shadow Step.
What they're missing
is
King's
Kingsbane.
It's okay. They run 3 of them in their deck.
Colorado did not hit the cold light there, which was probably what they were hoping for.
Elven Minstrel is a really good pull, though.
Yeah,
Every minion they pull, pre-Kingsbane, is good.
yeah.
What the Minstrel does is denies drawing Shiny Finder earlier, potentially.
Mm-hmm.
It potentially denies drawing Squid Face. Another Cold Light. Every minion in this deck is crucial, which is why I kind of like Sudden Betrayal.
Sudden Betrayal is a,
It's a very obnoxious card,
yeah,
but I think I do like it in the deck. It may not be optimal, but I
yeah.
like it.
It's particularly not optimal right here. But it is something that they can play from their hand if they feel like they need to get something out. Backstab is also an option. Not great options for backstab.
You really don't want to do much with this hand, because nothing you do
It's too full.
right now is going to progress your game plan. It's not going to improve anything, because you need Kingsbane to really do anything.
And with the mage's hand full, it's not really time for them to be playing Cold Light Oracle, so
No.
Oregon can probably feel pretty good about not getting their next card burned.
What to do? What to do?
No. What do you want to do with this hand is the big spell mage, though. You don't want to ever use Polymorph when Squid Face exists in the opponent's deck. That is a very bad card to ever let hit. That's 3 free life you're basically giving to your opponent every turn later in the game. No, 2, I'm sorry.
This mage doesn't have a whole lot of options, and since they want to save their Polymorph and they cannot play the Cold Light Oracle, they're really down to the secret.
Like you want to try and find ways to play around like second Cold Light, or you could just kill it for Shadow Step. That's not a problem.
There's a Shiny Finder.
That is a Kingsbane. We like that. Now our Squid Face is live. Our Deadly Poisons are live. Our Leeching Poison is live.
Which one are we going to see first?
The Leeching Poison. You're not under threat of dying anytime soon. These minions aren't impactful. They don't need to be killed right now. You can just wait. Just take 1 damage while hitting this and setting it up for a Deadly Poison kill next turn. It's fine. Plus, Leeching Poison is an awkward card to kind of fit in later because it costs more. If you kind of have a combo set up, or like you have key cards that you need to get out of your hand to progress your game plan, usually getting the clunkier, more expensive ones out are better than playing the cheaper ones immediately. Even though they feel better on the board right there. It's just better to make your hand better in the future, so that way you can be more flexible with it.
Colorado once again stuck with very few options. Their hand is still full. Yep. So they got to get rid of something, and it looks like that Polymorph is going to go, which is going to be...
I mean, Cold Light's straight unplayable.
Yeah.
Dragon's Fury is too valuable. So they're kind of forced to play it. They don't have enough key cards in their hand.
Oregon drawing their second Cold Light Oracle.
Yeah.
And at a very bad time for Colorado.
If I'm seeing a polymorph used on my Shiny Finder, I want to burn more of their cards. Their hand is obviously very bad. It's full of big, clunky, expensive things. I want to make it to where that they draw less of their deck, so that way they will only ever have big, expensive, clunky things. Big, clunky things don't get much done over a turn. They get to do one thing, one turn.
Colorado has their Doomsayer, which is just one more option to play, and maybe the least valuable option because They got to get rid of something. They do have 2 meteors.
They have a lot of removal. You probably want to use a meteor to get a card out of your hand. Doomsayer is actually more important than like to think, because it seems like it doesn't do much. Because oh no, it just clears the board. It sets up for you to cleanly play Sindragosa. It sets up for you to cleanly play Nizar. It sets up for you to cleanly play Jaina. It sets up for these play. It's a potential setup because you have all this removal. You play a removal spell, it usually clears the board. There's almost no situation where a Flame Strike won't clear a board. So at 9 mana, you can Flame Strike Doomsayer, set up for whatever you're doing the next turn. Pyros is the big Pyros. The 6 and the 10 mana are both really hard to play against decks that do the kind of thing that the Mill Rogue's doing.
Although right now, Oregon has a 7-3 Kingsbane on the board, which will make it pretty hard for them to play that Doomsayer effectively.
Yeah, it's also just going to clock them. They have 4 turns.
Yeah.
Colorado has 4 turns left in this game to, or 5 because of block, to do something and win.
Going with the Dragon Fury.
It's about as good a time as any you're ever going to get to play Pyros. You're probably never going to get to play the second Pyros either. That's a lot of damage. That is 32 damage.
Oregon doesn't even need to get the Kingsbane again.
That's a big weapon. Play the Sudden Betrayal here. You would have polymorphed Squid Face. You know it's not in their hand. Play Sudden Betrayal. You get another one. You get another Captain Greenskin. Captain Greenskin is insane in this deck. I don't like that. I really don't like that they didn't play it.
They didn't play Sudden Betrayal?
They did not play it. You know polymorph's not in the enemy's hand. You know Colorado 100% does not have polymorph.
I don't understand the connection between polymorph and Sudden Betrayal.
Okay, so Sudden Betrayal, wait.
No, Sudden Betrayal is the one that when you're
I'm thinking of Cheat Death.
You're thinking of Cheat Death.
I keep thinking that every time I see a secret, it's Cheat Death for the rogue. I am...
No, Sudden Betrayal doesn't do anything here.
I'm upset.
Although it also doesn't, like...
No, it doesn't do anything in this situation.
I don't necessarily know if there's, like, a time when Sudden Betrayal is super impactful against.
No, I think Cheat Death is better than Sudden Betrayal. That's why when I saw Sudden Betrayal, I thought it was Cheat Death, because I think it's better in the deck than Sudden Betrayal. Sudden Betrayal is, like, good against aggro decks, and that's it.
Colorado using their second Meteor, again, trying to get cards out of their hand. Playing down the Doomsayer now, probably just to... I don't know if they're hoping to just save themselves some health.
They're trying to set up for the Alex to the face.
Yeah.
So they don't want to have to deal with anything coming down and threatening to pop the block. They just want to play Alex and hopefully hit him in the face. But
Oregon, though, doesn't...
Problem is, Oregon is going to do what they were going to do anyway.
Yeah.
They're going to hit him in the face. They're going to hit Colorado in the face and play Valera. There's not much else to really do. Now, anything that buffs this weapon is insane. Because you play 2 of them.
Yeah, I don't know how Colorado can come back from this. I think that...
It's going to take some crazy Sindragosa, N'Zoth, and Jaina synergy and shenanigans coming together to somehow destroy this weapon and make it never come back. I don't know how that would happen. You can't silence a you can't silence a weapon.
No, but that would be a cool card.
Weapon. That would be a cool card. Change silence to where it can target weapons. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
It only hit one deck.
Call it Sneaky Ooze. Silence your opponent's weapon.
I like it.
All right. Yeah. They could try to just go for some value plays here. They could play the The Pyro, they could play Curator. Taunt, I think, is probably their best option here.
Draw a card, put a taunt in the way.
Yeah.
Play the Enchanted Raven. Play the Curator. Draw 2 cards. Draw 3 cards. You overdraw. Never mind. Curator's bad.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. Okay.
Curator's really bad. Because you're already struggling with hand size issues at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
If you drew 1 card,
Yeah, those Cold Light Oracles are just dead in hand.
Cold Light Oracle's dead. Curator is slowly getting less dead, but it's still almost
Oh,
unplayable.
Naga Corsair.
No, there's no possible way to pop this turn, right? No. No. It's close, though.
Yeah. Colorado does still have the Ice Block, for those of you that missed that.
Death's shadow grows.
10-2 weapon is crazy.
Yeah, double Naga Corsair, definitely, I think, the right play here. Kind of the only play.
Yeah. I mean, any play that gets my opponent closer to dead makes me happy.
I mean, throw out the Doom Ring so that we can refresh our weapon.
Nice ordering, so you don't lose a charge. Good stuff. Are we at? Can we just backstab the 2/2? It's annoying. I don't like it. I want it gone.
I mean, I would.
Yeah. Kill it so it's dead. Like, what is the opponent gonna do? Play a? What's Colorado gonna do? Are they gonna play a Pyros? No, they can't do that.
Yeah.
Are they gonna play an Alex? Maybe. Every time.
Alex just feels so bad when your opponent has a 10 lifesteal.
Every card that Colorado can play gets them popped in their deck, period. They don't have...
What to do? What to do?
If they taunt, they don't have enough mana to do anything else. If they don't taunt, and anything they play will just... They just weapon through it. You can't freeze a face with no Frostbolt.
Searching through Colorado's deck list.
There's only a 7-mana taunt. There are no Frostbolts. You're always getting popped.
Yeah, I feel like
You're not going to have anything to do the turn after.
crazy stuff from Sindragosa is really the only thing that could
But Syndragos is not in hand
turn this
right
around.
now.
Arcane Artificer would be nice, but not really game-changing.
You still get popped. You'd have to play a 9-mana spell and not get popped by the weapon. Like, so this is a situation where conceding is always bad, unless there is lethal present on board, but they were basically dead anyway. Like, it's...
Alex draws a heal, which is obviously a good play, but not really what you want to see.
Yeah, then it's... Alex...
Because that's your win condition.
Alex heal is the equivalent to an ice block at this point. It prevents
Yeah.
feeding pop this turn. But now we have the Syndragos. We have Syndragos outs. Potentially. It's too slow.
Potentially.
It's too slow to help because we're spending 10 mana to get a random card from it. That's not going to help us. We don't have enough mana to do anything. There are no 0-mana legendaries. So, I don't know. I feel like we're just staying in this game longer. Maybe they're taking time to think about the next game, what they want to do, how they want to play it. What they
Because
might be
Colorado
capable
has to win with this big spell mage.
They do.
And they have to beat... If they lose this game, then up next they'll be against either the Tempo Mage or the Murloc Pally that we've already seen.
I think as the big spell mage, you're super favored against Murloc Paladin.
Yeah.
Big
Spell Mage has a lot of removal.
My magic will tear you apart.
Now we're done.
And that's game. University
Yeah.
of Oregon is going to take game 3
So,
against the University of Colorado. We're now 2-1 in this first match of the night. Colorado was very unfavored in that game.
Yeah, that game went exactly the way it was supposed to go.
Yeah.
If at any point in time, as the Kingsbane Rogue,
Mm-hmm.
the Kingsbane Rogue, if at any time in that matchup finds Kingsbane weapon buffs, it kind of just wins.
Mm-hmm. And with so many different options to find Kingsbane.
Yeah, you run 3 of them in your deck, basically.
Yeah.
Cavern Shiny Finder is a Kingsbane.
Yeah.
It's a 3-mana Kingsbane, but it's a Kingsbane.
Yeah, so let's see what they're going to play next. Looks like we're going to have a Mage Mirror.
Yeah. You want to cue the tempo. You want to try and give yourself all your favorite matchups in order from highest to lowest. That way you get to that final game, and sometimes crazy things happen in the unfavored matchup.
Yes, Oregon wants to make it to Game 5.
This is another heavily favored matchup for Oregon, though. Especially going second, especially with Mana Worm, Coin Mana Worm.
Yeah.
If at any point in time Oregon finds a counterspell, just one, that is all the window they need to close out the game. Because all of the removal are just big clunky spells. You have to use those big clunky spells to clear a board. The only thing that Colorado really has going for them right now is that they have a bunch of cheap minions to keep them in the game. They have a 2/2 Enchanted Raven to help fight for the board, and they have a Tar Creeper. But these Mana Worms can get very scary very quickly and still just tear through a Tar Creeper. Not to mention you could potentially glyph into a Fireball and just hit the... If they knew each other's hands right now, I think that you might glyph for a Fireball and just trade the 2/3 Mana Worm into the Enchanted Raven and put the 3/3 in the face. Star Creeper's scary in this position. Cleanly contest both your Mana Worms. Hard for you to really do anything about it. Frostbolt is insane, though. It's free damage.
Yeah.
It's good. They're just thinking whether or not they need the Pyroblast for later, whether or not it's better to play the value game. I think that's a fair argument, but this is a way to keep one of my Mana Worms alive and pushing face really, really, like just pushing a lot of face damage really, really quickly. Yeah. So you they want to frost.
Oh, okay. I see.
So they frostbolt the face to push the most amount of damage.
Maximize the damage.
This pushes 7 damage, not 5. More damage means they're closer to dead. If they're dead, then they can't play the game, and I like that.
In Colorado, already down to 18 health with no options in hand.
They just Colorado just tempoed an Arcane Artificer.
Yeah.
That is the card you want to play to stabilize.
Oh, that's so bad.
It's not stabilizing.
They're not in a great place right now.
This is bad.
Primordial Glyph, hoping to get...
That's a good card.
Oh, no. That Fireball.
Fireball puts them very, very close. Colorado's almost dead.
Gonna leave Colorado with 6 health left.
That is ping into Firelands Portal dead. I like that play. That play makes me happy. It makes them dead.
Thinking through what Colorado
They're
could
thinking
have
whether or not
to
they need to
return
kill
from
the
that.
Arcane Artificer, and
Yeah.
they're going into the turns where you can actually play big spells now.
Mm-hmm.
So scary. I like fireballing this. Yeah.
Same amount of
In review.
damage, but the Mana Worm has 1 more health.
Yeah. And in review, killing things that heal my opponent does damage to my opponent, and that makes them dead, and that makes me happy.
Explosive Runes. Very bad card for Colorado right now. All the cards are bad cards for Colorado right now. We're a couple turns away from being able to Firelands Portal.
And you have to play this Golden Oracle.
Yeah.
Or don't you?
Oh.
No, not quite yet. No. Next turn you do have to Next turn you 100% have to find Ice Block, though. There's the card far left has been in the hand since turn 1, which means it's a big clunky card. A big clunky card is either Pyroblast or Firelands Portal. You play around the one that kills you now.
Colorado playing the Skulking Geist, probably knowing that the Explosive Runes is there.
Is almost guaranteed.
But nothing they can do. Game.
Small note.
What?
Small note. Oregon 100% misplayed.
Which one?
So that last play where they played Double Secret,
Mm-hmm.
100% misplay.
Okay.
They ordered it wrong. You're supposed to play the push to polymorph first, then the Explosive Runes.
Yeah. I
That
see
way,
what you're
any
saying.
minion they play kills them.
Yeah.
100%.
All right. Well, game number 4 is going to go to Oregon, and so we're on to the 5th game, final game tiebreaker. We're going to have
You asked.
our big
Big Spell
Big
Mage
Spell
versus Murloc
Mage.
Paladin.
versus Murloc Paladin. Colorado having trouble winning with this Big Spell Mage.
But this is the matchup they're supposed to be favored in. This
Yeah.
is the matchup they have a chance in. They have a Doomsayer and a Tar Creeper.
Yeah, this is a really strong opening hand for Colorado in this matchup.
This strong start is going to get...
And that's really all you need to take down a Murloc Paladin 90% of the time is a good start.
So it's very greedy. In this matchup, if you see a 1-drop, it is actually too greedy to play Doomsayer on 2. You have to play it on 1. Because of exactly the sequence of draws that just happened, you go Rock Pool. You now have 4 attack on board.
Yeah.
Because you buff it up, it's a 2/4. 2/4 plus a 2/3 is 4. You go into Rallying Blade. And then Rallying Blade, 4 plus 3 is 7, and your Doomsayer is dead. And it's just a very sad thing to have happen.
Colorado drew their second Doomsayer already. So they have options.
You don't want
You don't want a
Doomsayer
Doomsayer
this-
here.
No, you'd much rather Doomsayer on turn 3 going into the Call to Arms turn, so that
Yeah.
way you at least delay that by 1 turn. You make them float 1 mana at the very least. It's small compromise. Not ideal.
Runs out on me.
Yeah. You
Looks
have
like
to
Colorado sees this.
you have to hear a Power Pass. There's not much to do.
Colorado, over the course of this match, has made a lot of, I think, really strong plays. They've been able to see the different options before them, know when to hold the cards that they need to hold.
Blessing of Kings is miserable. This is what you don't want to. So when you have a
Exactly
Doomsayer
what
in
you
your
don't
opening
wanna see.
hand, this is not what you want to see. You don't want to see your opponent play big, strong cards.
But Colorado has a polymorph.
Yeah. Murloc Warrior dealt with. Blessing of Kings dealt with. We only have 2 more cards we're worried about. Call to Arms and Tarim. I mean, technically they're second war leader.
Yeah.
But an ideal where they don't draw it.
All
An ideal
right.
where they don't draw any of those cards.
Getaway Kodo, Noble Sacrifice, Eye for an Eye.
So Getaway Kodo just gives you a 1/1 sheep.
Yeah.
Eye for an Eye pops your opponent at 1. They're playing mind games. I think it's cute.
Mm-hmm.
Because
An Eye for an Eye is... It's that card you always kind of have to consider but never really have a good answer to.
so
The
thing with Eye for Eye in this specific matchup is you want to pop them. You want to put them at 1 and play Eye for an Eye. So
Yeah.
you checkmate them. There's nothing they can do other than... Well, now they have options of Arcane Artificer and healing up.
Yeah.
So the matchup has changed a little bit since the... or at least the Control-y Mage matchup has changed since the Unguro days, where you would literally get Eye for an Eye.
Oh,
every time.
no.
Bunch of 1-health minions.
That is not what you want to see
Yeah, you want to see Knife Jugglers and Dire Wolves.
from your Call to Arms.
But
Colorado still has a lot of options.
if this board doesn't get dealt with, you Cold Light Seer it, and it's a really strong board though. It's not that bad. It's just if they have the removal, it is unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
To do.
I mean, regardless, though, Colorado would play Dragon's Fury whether they had, double Knife Juggler, or if in some insane world they had like triple or quadruple Grimscale Chums. It doesn't matter. It's going to clear the board. So
Colorado
the only card that really makes a difference would be Blizzard with the 1/3 on board.
Looks like they're going to go for the Dragon Fury and try to clear the board. I mean, not try.
They're going to.
They're going to clear the board. That was a misplay.
I don't know. I just don't like playing the Artificer, period.
Yeah.
So they want to have something on board to contest whatever comes out. I don't mind that as much as I really want to heal with this Artificer later, because a 1/2 is pretty unimpactful. It only really contests a 1/1. And the only 1/1s this deck plays at this point are Murlocs that come from hero power. Fair point. You play the Artificer, it kills a Murloc. That's cool. But it's still a 1/1, and it needs cards to go with it to make it powerful. I like healing for 7 more than I do killing a 1/1 Murloc. Potentially the hand's just strong enough you can discard it. You don't have enough spells in your hand to really support the Artificer later anyway. I guess that's the real argument.
Divine Favor is a pretty good card here.
Yeah. But they play the strong play on board with the Cold Light Seer.
Pretty good card for Oregon to have in their hand at this point.
And since it's late in the game, so the cute thing with Cold Light Oracle and Divine Favor, the way this works, if an opponent plays Cold Light Oracle and you have Divine Favor in hand, it actually makes your Divine Favor a lot worse if it happens early in the game. Because you have mana constraints keeping you from dumping these cards out of your hand. But in this situation, the Cold Light Oracle actually just makes the opponent's it makes Oregon's life a lot easier, because they draw more cards to empty their hand, to just get to the key cards, get to the Tarim, the Murloc War Leader, the Megasaur, the things they want to draw to help end the game, close it out. Arcane Artificer Blizzard is nice, though. It gains me health, it pops the shield. Doesn't kill much, but it softens them up for potential Dragon's Fury hitting a potential second Ice Block. Do they run second Ice Block?
I don't think so.
No, they only run 1 copy of Ice Block. Health is health, though. That's about all the value the Arcane Artificer would be getting anyway.
Both of the Megasaurs in hand, which could be really good if Colorado can't draw any removal this turn.
This board is not dealt with.
But they have the Cold Light Oracle.
You need to draw in a second Blizzard with Cold Light Oracle.
Yeah.
Nothing else really.
Yeah, everything else is too expensive.
We are not dead on board, so we probably play Jaina.
Have they already played both of their, what am I thinking of? Dragon's Fury.
They have not. No.
So they have 1 Dragon's Fury
That's right,
left.
yeah. You could also go
option.
Light Oracle into Dragon's Fury. If I'm Colorado, I am thinking we need to find some time to get Frostlich Jaina online. Our hand does not support setting up to get Frostlich Jaina online. We're not dead on board currently. Just double checking. That's 4, 6, 8, 15. We're not dead on board. So,
although with the Megasaur,
with the Gentle
anything
Megasaur,
is possible.
Yeah, with the Gentle Megasaur and +3 attack or Wind Fury, we are dead. And they might be thinking about that. But there are 2 cards in your deck that you're looking for. I think
Dirty Rat and Skulking Geist. Okay, Dirty Rat.
A decent card and a dead card. I'm not saying that Frostlich Jaina is 100% the better play. I think it is the greedier play.
Yeah,
and I think it is the winning play. if your opponent cannot kill you that turn, and then you can set up your blocks, you can draw your cards, you can do your Cold-Light Oracle shenanigans and draw
Looks
stuff.
like Oregon setting up for a big gentle Megasaur.
Yes. This is going to
And
be...
with the Blessing of Kings or the Spike Ridge Steed in hand, they can get a lot of... There's the Wind Fury.
I kind of wanted to go for double Megasaur.
That's also, I mean, that's
They could
also
still
an
do
option.
it. They could still do it. You just trade in... I can't see anything. You probably just trade in the Cold-Light Seer twice, and then you Megasaur again.
Yeah.
They're already dead on board, though. There's no need for that. It's excessive. Blessing of
They're
Kings
thinking
would be
about
good.
it. There it goes.
Oh, the double. Okay.
I hope they're going to Blessing of Kings. Are they going to have enough time to go face with all of these?
So animations go really slow.
Yeah.
They probably finish their turn about 30, 40 seconds. Not 30. Probably 10 to 15 seconds ago. That's probably more
Okay,
fair.
there you go.
But because of all the animations, it just took so long for the observers and Colorado. They were probably like, okay, ropes burning, waiting for animations.
All right, so Colorado's ice block is now popped,
Which means
and their opponent has a board full of...
you play Frostlich Jaina, you die. You play
Yeah.
Alexstrasza, you die. If you play Skulkengeist, you die.
Yeah, there's no...
You
There's...
play Sindragosa, you die.
Wow.
You ping yourself in the face, you die, but it's a bit more honorable.
Colorado...
The icy winds of north.
Their only option is to Sindragosa and see what they can get from this.
You get anything that's not a zero-mana legendary, you die.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
Fitting that they got Finge of the Flying Star against the Murloc deck that is running Finge of the Flying Star. Cute. I like it.
And that's the end of our match. Oregon with the reverse sweep against Colorado. Colorado won those first two games so handily.
Pretty unfortunate for Colorado to, get reverse swept.
Yeah, and there were so many things in that last game that could have saved them. The Dragon's Fury on the Cold Light Oracle or the Blizzard.
I think the only thing with the draws they were given, I think the only thing they could have done was to be greedy and try
for the Frostlich Jaina.
Yeah.
Because fitting for Colorado to win their first two games largely off of lucky draws. And then I feel like, I mean, obviously not all off of lucky draws, but...
yeah, they had some really sick draws. Key pickups at key times helped them win the matchups, but...
Colorado also played very well.
They still played very, very well. I like what they did.
In Oregon, I feel like making a lot more kind of small misplays, but ultimately being able to pull it out.
I just really wish they sequenced the secrets in the right order. That would have been pretty sick. You play the Skulkengeist and you die anyway. Oh no.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break here while we set up game two. But after the break, we're going to have Arizona State University taking on UCLA in our second match of the night. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Turn around, I feel the breeze over me. You watch your dreams unfold. Let it come around and let it breathe over me. It's time to go away into the light. I feel the calming energy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Pacific Alliance of Collegiate Gamers. We're in our second week of our Hearthstone tournament right now, and we just came back from a game between University of Colorado, and the University of Oregon, where University of Oregon reverse swept University of Colorado.
Yeah, that was pretty unfortunate for the Big Spell Mage. It had two very unfavored matchups, and then in the one favored matchup, it just couldn't get there. Not quite enough. Didn't quite draw the removals they needed to.
Yeah, pretty good to watch, though. Good plays by both teams. I feel like some strong competition we have here in the PACG. Let's take a look at what else we're going to be watching tonight, though. Right up next, we're going to watch Arizona State Sun Devils take on the UCLA Bruins. This is the first match of the season for both of these teams. And so the first time we're going to get to see them play. And then after that, we will see USC take on Stanford University. So let's go right into this next matchup of ASU versus UCLA. For Arizona State, their team are Archie 90, Jabberwocky, and Houdini. And they've brought with them a Control Warlock, a Token Shaman, an Aggro Paladin, and a Spiteful Priest.
And UCLA, their players are Dovahkiin, Kyrax, and Triton. They've brought a Big Spell Mage, a Cube Warlock, a Control Paladin, and a Control Dragon Priest, which I have been seeing a lot in the Legend streams.
Control Dragon Priest?
Yes, I've been seeing. So today, Ali Straza actually streams quite a bit of it. Asmodai has been streaming it for about a week and a half, 2 weeks now. That's like that's all he's been playing. A couple Jade Shaman games here and there, but just staying in top 100 playing Control Dragon Priest.
Unfortunately, we're not going to see that Control Dragon Priest get played tonight because it was banned by ASU. UCLA banning Arizona State's Control Warlock, which is the common ban that we're seeing. So it's a little bit surprising that ASU did not ban UCLA's Cube Block here.
Yeah, it's usually kind of see Warlock, ban Warlock kind of thing. I like that. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward.
So let's talk about that a little bit. UCLA, they did UCLA's Cube Block, a pretty standard Cube Block, running Mountain Giant, and everything else you'd expect.
The biggest difference with this deck is they are running, instead of one Faceless, they're running a Spellbreaker. They want to be better against other Warlocks. They want to be better against the Combo Priest. That's pretty much it. That's all Spellbreaker really hits. There has been a surgence in the tournament metagame of Control Paladin. They run. I forget the name of the card. Spike Ridge Steed. There we go.
Yeah, UCLA running Control Paladin, Spike Ridge Steed,
But I mean, like,
Skulking Geist, Sunkeeper Tarim, Ragnaros Light Lord.
That's card.
Which I'm excited to see. I hope we get to see that come out on the board in this game.
Yeah, I love Ragnaros.
But it looks like we're already into this game, so we're just going to jump right into it. ASU with their Aggro Paladin already got patches on the board. And UCLA is running their... This is a Big Spell Mage.
Yes. Patches.
Oh, yes,
being
Patches.
played.
It's still here.
I don't know what to say about this. I'm conflicted. I hate the card, but I love that it's getting played.
It's still a decent card with some of the other things that, I mean, with Aggro Pally, you want things to stick so that you can buff them, right?
Yeah, you just want to make a big Tarim and kill him with it. Problem with Patches though is it is just a 1/1.
Yeah,
it's just a 1/1 that sometimes gets pulled by a Call with the Arms, and it doesn't really benefit you too much.
Yeah, that's the kind of the thing I was thinking is that Patches is always a good extra 1/1 when it gets pulled by a pirate, but it's bad when it gets pulled by Call to Arms.
Yeah, and even when it had charge, when I would play this deck, and I would have Patches, I wouldn't pull a pirate, so I never got it out of my deck. I would play the Call to Arms, I'd pull Patches, and it was the saddest experience of my life. It doesn't do anything. But good news for Arizona. They have 2 Divine Shield minions on the board. They have a Rallying Blade in hand. One of them is going to get buffed because there's no AoE in this deck before turn 5.
All right, so ASU has managed to develop a little bit of a board here ahead of UCLA's, but just all of these 1/1s getting pinged off by UCLA. UCLA has a lot of removal in their hand right now.
They do. This is what big spell mage hands look like all the
Mhm.
time. Just all the removal all the time, usually. Sometimes you get the early game minion hands and you either stabilize against aggro decks that way, or you just get to turn 5. Sometimes magically, sometimes just because they went too slow.
So, and so this aggro pally, what are they looking for? At this point, they have their small minions out.
They want Terra.
They're kind of just playing on board. Like, they're looking for Taram so that they can buff those. They're looking for Valinor, I suppose. Is there other win condition?
They don't want Valinir yet. They want Valinir toward, like, maybe 3-4 turns in the future. But Valinir is... It's not a playable card this turn.
Yeah.
So that's one reason we don't want to see it now. B, even if it is playable, it's going to hit Leroy about 50% of the time because you're going to have minions. You can control it to where it does hit Leroy 100% of the time, but you only really want that when you're trying to kill them with 14 burst damage. 4 that they can see, 10 that they can't. You can't control Valinir. You can control it hitting Leroy, but you can't control it hitting a minion that's not Leroy.
Ooh, really good divine favor there.
Yeah. In the mid game, you want Valinir to hit other minions that aren't Leroy, though. So that way they can hit and connect phase for 4 and potentially buff your Leroy later as well.
Got 2 different mauls ASU has now, which is a little bit clunky in their hand, but also gives them some options there.
Now, I don't quite know what the names translate to buffs, but I know one of them is plus
Pretty
attack.
sure Blessed is plus attack. I don't remember what Champion's
Maul,
is.
no, actually, I figured it out. You're right. It's plus attack, and it is 1/1s, the Sylvan Recruits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That Maul is actually really good with Knife Juggler. It's it's one of the best ones, period, but it's annoyingly good with Knife Juggler.
Which is one of the options that they might be considering here.
Yeah. Deal 3 to phase, play Knife Juggler, summon 2 guys, and then Hero Power, because 1 damage to face. 1 damage matters. If there's anything Cripps taught me with his 5 videos, it's one damage matters.
And ASU is pushing UCLA down pretty far. They do have the life block in hand, the ice block in hand. They have 2 ice blocks in hand, so they're not going to be dead anytime soon.
They're really more concerned with trying to kill the board. There's not really much way to play around Leroy. You get popped with Leroy regardless. You can't or you get popped if you try and play ice block and not die this turn. You die over like 2 or 3 turns anyway, because you're not clearing the board. They're gonna deal on board. They're gonna deal 3.
Unfortunately, though, no matter what they do this turn, if they don't play the ice block, then they lose.
Like they're getting popped or they're gonna lose. And getting popped, generally, we don't have an Artificer in hand. We only really have the Alex. So it's kind of like we need to block, survive, block, survive. Alex, Artificer, and armor or something. We need to somehow not die over the next 3 or 4 turns.
And that's going to be it.
Yeah.
ASU has lethal.
If they knew the hand, they know that they'd have to block in a miracle. But you're not in a good enough position to. You can't hope for a miracle. You have to try and make the best play.
Unfortunate first game. That game went by pretty quickly.
Yeah. Even
Could
though
barely even keep up with it.
UCLA lost, I still like their plays.
Yeah, I think that they, like you were saying at the end there, like
It's
they had to play hoping that they didn't have
yeah. It's
Leroy
like,
in hand.
do you say, hey, they don't have Leroy. They have 15 cards left in their deck. They don't have Leroy.
Mm-hmm.
That's more likely than we're gonna ice block, and somehow have an Arcane Artificer miracle.
Right.
That's not gonna happen. Like, you say, hey, it's about a 50% chance that they don't kill us next turn, or you can say, hey, you want to play to a 1 in 16,
Yeah.
maybe, something like that.
Yeah. So first game is going to go to ASU. No.
Yes,
Yes.
to ASU. Yeah,
To ASU's.
they're aggro paladin.
ASU's aggro paladin. All right. So decks that they have left: Evolve Shaman and Big Spell Priest. It looks like we're going to start the mulligan right now. ASU Big Spell Priest. Wait,
Spiteful Priest.
Spiteful Priest.
Yeah. I like I like just requeuing the mage, because you're favored. Well, favored's a strong way to put it. I don't know quite how the matchup goes into Spiteful Priest, but I know you're favored against Token Shaman once you get to the closer to the turn 5 area. It's really draw dependent, but on both sides with the Spiteful Priest matchup. If you can draw your removal and you can dodge Spiteful Summoner for a while, you tend to have a really good chance in the matchup, because you can start to fatigue them with Frostlich Jaina. Just if you have Polymorph for their Spiteful Summoner, you have the option to remove the strongest card in their deck, pretty much. It's just it's a high variance matchup. I don't know how it's supposed to play out. And then Draconoid Operative just throws in like weird, wacky stuff happening. It's a mess. It's a lovely mess, though. Let's see. I really like coining out the Netherspite Historian from Arizona State side.
Especially
not
with
gonna
the Shadow Ascendant in hand.
That's why I like it so much,
Yeah.
because you're not going to kill that Netherspite Historian. You may be able to do 1 damage to it, but you're not going to deal with it. And that not dealing with it guarantees Spiteful Summoner sticking. UCLA realizing this, or, well, A, you play Arcanologist on 2. It's better than pinging. That's number 1. But 2, it's really good into exactly this.
Yeah. The Arcanologist will be able to take out that.
Yeah. It's sad you have a 2/4 on the board. Heads up play. So Arizona State, they know that regardless, the 2 is going to get traded into.
Yeah.
They actually don't miss a damage with this play. They actually gain 1 damage with this play, because if they attack with the 1/3, it does 1 damage, and then it gets buffed to a 2/4. The Arcanologist trades, and then you have to trade with the Arcanologist, so that way it doesn't threaten your second Shadow Ascendant.
Right.
Which means that you did 1 damage. In this case, he gets to get to do 2 if he doesn't have another minion. So it's technically gain 1 damage. It's nice. It's heads up. I like it.
All right, Northshire Cleric going to go down to get some card draw for Arizona State. It seemed like an interesting...
All right, UCLA played the card they got from the draw. It's smart. You see your opponent can't read your hand. If you play the top decked one, they know you have a second block in hand. Now they don't. Small things. Small things matter. This is a guaranteed card. It's open deck list format.
Okay, their options are Volcanic Potion, Syndragosa, and Twilight Flame Color. So
It's the Syndragosa, of course.
it's obviously the Syndragosa.
Yeah. And UCLA's Big Spell Mage is, again, the N'Zoth variant running Syndragosa, the Beatles. You don't dirty. Do you dirty rat or don't you dirty rat? This is a scary moment. this is like a pivotal moment in the matchup. Do you Dirty Rat to try and protect your life total because you're taking 6? Can you afford to take 6? Or do you want to try and say, hey, they run big cards. They have Dragonoid Operatives. They have Spiteful Summoner is the biggest card.
They have Cobalt Scalebanes.
Cobalt Scalebane's a really scary card. Like, just, there are things you don't want to rat out.
Yeah. And no matter what I mean,
You don't want to use Polymorph.
you're gonna get you're gonna pull something from that Dirty Rat.
Yeah, you're gonna pull something from the Dirty Rat, and it's usually gonna be something impactful.
Mm-hmm.
And it's worse than it is. Like it's more bad than it is good.
Mm-hmm. So with this kind of matchup, is Dirty Rat?
It's not unplayable, but it's really scary to play.
Okay.
It's something that you might play on too, depending.
So these
on
discover options are Doomsayer, Polymorph, and Flame Strike. Arizona State opting for the Polymorph. A good all-around card, especially against this mage that's running a lot of big, dirty minions.
Polymorph deals with Doomsayer, and it draws you a card with Cleric on board. I love it. Meteor's just kind of a nice, solid play. No, not much to really say about that. Cleanly deals with the operative. I mean, what I can say is Meteor positioning, depending on how you want to prioritize your minions. Do you want the 3 attack or do you want the draw on the board? Considering how heavy your hand is, you actually don't want the draw on the board. So Meteor positioning was great.
All right.
Lich King is insane.
Ooh.
Hey, do you like having Cinder Ghost in your deck? Do you like having N'Zoth in your deck? Because we're going to take those from your deck. 1/6 of the time.
All right. Yeah. Arizona State. So Polymorph.
Has to be done.
Yeah. Polymorph definitely I think the right play here.
Dragon's Fury just doesn't quite cut
Dragon's
it.
Fury wouldn't be good enough.
You'd have to
Meteor
hit exactly
would
a 7.
Be a little bit of a waste.
If you were at 8 mana, Meteor is probably better.
Yeah.
But you're not at 8 mana, you're at 7, which means you have to Dragon's Fury into a 7 mana card to clear the board. The chance of that happening are actually kind of high. I think it's 2 out of 3 or 2 out of 5. That's higher than it would be normally.
And UCLA just has some unfortunate cards right now. The Dirty Rat is almost always going to be a bad option. The Skulking Geist isn't going to do anything, so it's just a 6 mana 4/6.
2 Spiteful Summoners have been played back to back, getting 8/8s.
Ooh.
This is how this matchup goes when these cards are in the hand. It's just it's very depressing. You have to go for the Gambit. You have to get the 7 mana card. You have to go for the 40% chance that you do it.
Dragon's Fury.
You don't have options.
Blizzard. All right.
Unfortunate. I mean, you had to go for that. Otherwise, you just straight up lose. Or I mean, you get popped this turn. But there's still worlds where you can come back from this.
Yeah.
You have Dragon's Fury Ice Block that potentially clears the board. Dragon's Fury Meteor.
And this pop could be a lot worse.
They could have popped at 1.
Yeah. UCLA is popping it. It's going to pop at 8 here.
Could they have? I don't know. That was big. But being popped at 8 is better than being popped at anything lower than that, for sure.
But this is a situation where Arizona State's big hand is really pretty scary.
I think
or Arizona State's big hand.
Arizona State's big hand benefits many cards in their hand. Or Twilight Drakes more specifically.
Yeah.
Big hand means dragons. Dragons means dragon synergies are live. That's good. It's one of the benefits. But Twilight Drakes love these hands. You like 4/10s? I like 4/10s. Dirty Rat. Dirty Rat the Geist.
Yeah, UCLA not with...
Probably.
Obviously, Meteor is going to... Well,
you don't want
good positioning there.
yeah. And you don't
for
want
the
to play.
Meteor.
you don't want to heal your rag because it's gonna heal itself anyway. So I think the Shadow Ascendant, best play on the turn with what mana he had left. Polymorphs.
Polymorph.
Polymorph does something.
Polymorph's pretty good.
You don't have enough mana to polymorph plus meteor though, so
Yeah.
it's probably just
I don't. Is there a world where they cannot ice block this turn?
Yes. Yes, it's the world in which they meteor leave the 5/6 up. The Draxoid Operative.
Dirty Rat into Dirty Rat.
It's cute.
And they will have enough mana to clear this board.
I like that.
They took out their opponent's Dirty Rat.
They had nothing less than 6 mana left in their deck. They knew it was guaranteed clear. There was another world in which they don't play Ice Block, and it was that one.
That was a pretty good.
That was a good play.
It's a good play. Still, it took them 2 cards.
It's okay.
Really, just the Dragon's Fury did all the work there.
It's okay though. You don't mind. Well, you want to try and Dirty Rat cards out of your opponent's hand, so they have less things to play with, less value. Alex Strauza, Nazoth, Curator. You don't want to play Curator because you will draw cards. Draw cards means your hand's full. Your hand's full. You overdraw things. It's bad. You can't.
UCLA's not really afraid of overdrawing at this point, are they?
No, Arizona State. They're the ones choosing.
Oh,
yeah,
you're right.
I guess pick the
I
Alex.
was not paying attention to the Discover.
Pick the Alex because it's a dragon. It's never gonna get played ever. So you just play it because it's a dragon. Actually, no, it gets played if Frosted Jaina comes down and insane things happen. They're at 30. Somehow you have a board. Alex them and kill them. That happens. But usually the game plays out. It's just a dragon. You're free to play Twilight Drakes as 4/10s.
ASU's looking at maybe playing that Sindragosa this time.
Why not? You have nothing better to do with your mana. You're not popping this turn in any way, shape, or form. Doom Pact is the opposite of good for you. Tar Creeper doesn't put enough power in play to power through a potential Arcane Artificer. Just Sindragosa is the only option there, really. Cool thing about Sindragosa, it plays around Meteor by itself.
I was going to say, Sindragosa seems like a good Meteor target.
It seems like a good Meteor target until you're like, wait, I'm giving my opponent's cards and I'm not killing anything impactful?
Yeah.
That's not a good deal. I don't like that.
Although, if they were to Meteor the Sindragosa and put 2 legendaries into their opponent's hand, Arizona State would burn a card.
Yeah. Thing is, Arizona doesn't quite care about that too much.
Yeah, there's not really much that, they're really concerned about losing at this point.
You could just Meteor. You could Meteor, Doomsayer, ping him in the face. You are forcing your opponent to either put 9 damage in a Doomsayer or pop you. And then not have a board, top deck Frostless Jaina, potentially have ways to get back in the game.
All right, let's see what they get.
This play is also good. You just guaranteed don't get popped.
We're gonna get a Captain Greenskin.
Captain Greenskin is insane in this deck. It really hits a weapon.
And a Dark Hogger. Oh, so not excellent pulls for Arizona State, but at this point
they're just bodies, and that's all that matters.
They have, ASU has so many different plays.
I like playing 10 mana out. How do you play 10 mana out? 4 plus 3/3 is a way to play 10 mana.
Twilight Drake, pretty good here.
Yeah. I'm just concerned with playing the Twilight Drake and the best stats behind that. It's probably just Twilight Drake, Captain Greenskin. That's the best stats you can play. Hogger.
Oh, are they going to go with the Hogger?
Right play.
I feel like the Hogger play is simply a kind of a no downsides play. At this point, they're trying to build. They're trying to get more attack onto their board, so they can deal with threats while also popping the ice blocks. Hammett Jungle Hunter.
But Twilight Drake Captain Greenskin puts more stats on the board. I like stats.
Yeah.
I guess so. Hogger's unanswerable by Flame Strike.
Yeah.
It can't happen. I guess that's the reasoning. They just don't want to get wrecked by Flame Strike. They want to be able to pop through Arcane Artificer Flame Strike.
Popped through the second ice block.
Do they even do that though? They were at 3. So UCLA was at 3. They heal up to 10. No, you still don't pop anyway. You do 8 damage, but you don't pop.
Wait. I'm not sure what you're
So
talking about.
I'm saying the Hogger Doom of Elwyn. No, but you have the Twilight Drake on board. I'm silly. You have 12 damage. Never mind. You do kill through. But so I was saying you play around Flame Strike plus Artificer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you Artificer, Flame Strike, you are at 3, you go up to 10. And then I just did not see that Twilight Drake. I was too busy looking at their hands to notice that minions were on the board.
Oh. Not great legendaries off of that Syndragosa. And UCLA is going to lose for a second time in this matchup.
But Hemet draws you closer to Jaina. I like getting close to the
That's correct.
I love that they played it. That shows that they have a good sense of humor.
Yeah. Or they're really salty about, like,
Nah.
look at these crap cards that I drew.
Nah, they're just having some fun.
Hemet's always fun to see in competitive tournaments, right?
The only time I've ever seen Hemet actually played was in the Molten Giant deck, where it's it's Molten Giant, Hemet, and I can't remember the name of the card.
I know you're talking about the Paladin deck.
Yes.
5
mana, deal damage equal to the cost you draw.
I don't remember that card's name either.
I know,
but
it's a weird card.
That's a fun deck, though.
Hilarious deck.
When it works, 1 time out of 12.
And then you die to it 3 times in a row when you're ranked 2.
All right, next matchup we've got Evolve Shaman from ASU, and UCLA is playing their Q block.
If there's anything you're favored against, it's something that floods the board with tokens. As long as you draw Defile. So, since Devolve is a card, Lackey and the things that spawn out of it are just kind of risky.
Oh, Devolve.
Yeah, it's Devolve, Hex. Hex isn't in this list, but it's still a thing that Shaman does. Like, they can deal with cube, with demons and Q block stuff. They can deal with it really well. It's just that Shaman, the rest of the things that it's able to do, it's not strong enough. Against an aggro deck, you really want to play Void Lords. Both of them are in hand. That's really unfortunate. You have the Defile and you have the Mortal Coil, though, so you take your wins with your losses.
Yeah, UCLA really needs to draw their Skull.
Yeah, Skull is...
With both of these Void Lords in hand.
Skull is what turns this bad hand, or mediocre hand, into a good hand.
We're in turn at 4.
I really like Jade Claw's Hero Power.
Jade Claws, Hero Power.
Yeah, you Jade Claws, do you hit the 2-1? It doesn't matter which one you hit. So you hit the 2-2, so that way it dies. It doesn't provide a 2 for Defile, unless you hit a 2 health totem. You just want to try and set up the board so that way when you play your 0 mana 5/5, don't remember the name, and your other 0 mana 5/5, Corridor Creeper, and Doppelgangster and Evolve, you want the board to be as clean as possible so that way it has less. You can't interact with it. If your board is uninteractable, it's good for you. What's bad for you is drawing all 3 of your demons with Lackey in hand.
Yeah.
3 out of 4 demons in hand is bad.
We're going to try and get the Lackey down now. There's only one demon left for them to get, and they want to get it out before they draw it.
Yeah, yeah. 9 out of 10 Hearthstone players recommend getting demons out of your deck for free.
At this point, though, I mean, they could attempt to out-aggro. They have a Faceless Manipulator in hand. They have the Q-Block in hand. They have a Dark Pact.
Yeah, this hand can get nuts very quickly.
This
if this cube, when this Lackey pops, there is going to be a Doomguard coming out. Guaranteed. Now, after this turn, UCLA is going to know for sure that a Devolve is not in hand.
Yes.
Like, because if you can deny your opponent the ability to pull a demon from their deck for free, you take it. Unless you have an alternate game plan that involves killing them. But that game plan is not existent right now.
Yeah.
So you would Devolve here. UCLA is going to know, based on that, they're going to know that Arizona State does not have Devolve in hand. So they could potentially go for a very, very greedy play next turn if they pop the Lackey.
Yeah, Thing from Below I think is the right play here.
So here's the insane play. I'm willing to bet they know Devolve's not in hand. You can Doomguard, trade, cube it.
Yep.
Uninteractable. Faceless at the next turn. Pop a cube. Attack with a cube, pop a cube.
Yep, exactly.
That is 14 burst damage with a cube holding 2 Doomguards. It is weaker to things such as Devolve, or Spellbreaker. But Spellbreaker is not in the deck. Devolve is a 2 of, is currently not in hand. There are currently about 20 cards in deck.
Arizona State, though,
You could do
does
it.
have a play here. They could Flame Tongue Totem and Jade Lightning to take out the 5/7 and hit the 5/2 with their weapon. That would be the way to prevent these Doomguards from...
Or we can progress our game plan. That's good. So they're doing what you want. They're doing a halfway play. They're clearing a Doomguard and progressing their game plan. Now, the reason they traded, this is nice.
Oh.
This is nice. The reason they traded is because they want to play around getting a Doomsayer off of their totem. It usually doesn't happen. I think it's like a 1 in 40 or 1 in 60. It's very, very rare to happen. But you want it to not happen ever. So if you can prevent it, you do.
Okay. So yeah, UCLA here now facing a board of taunts, which is not what you want to see when you were starting to feel like aggro might be your only hope.
Yeah, this board's scary. We need to think of how we are killing this board. Well, we can kill an 8/8 with Hellfire. That's good news. How do we kill other things? That's the problem. Currently, they don't have the ability. They have the ability to make a 1. They have a 2. So that's no. There's no way that Defile is good. Just, there aren't enough low health minions. This is scary.
Yeah, we can take out 2 of these minions. And that's really it.
No.
And that's what UCLA is going to do. Which is good, because that's a very scary Bloodlust.
Is this game? So that's
Wait.
lethal. That's lethal
1
damage.
Flame Tongue Totem.
Flame Tongue Totem plus Bloodlust is 5 damage per minion. He has 5 on board. 5 times 4
You're
is
right.
20. This is lethal.
It's lethal right there.
Let's see if they can. It's
No.
possible they don't notice it. Okay,
All right.
so this is awkward.
All right, missed lethal.
Let me make
But-
sure I'm not crazy here. So
No.
Bloodlust does give
Yeah.
+3 attack, right?
Yes.
It does cost 5 mana.
Yes.
Flame Tongue Totem gives +2.
You were right. It was 20 damage.
It's 2. I just want to make sure, because I like to think that I'm a good player.
Yeah.
I finished top 500 legend
Yeah.
a couple times.
So
I think
UCLA
I'm good.
looking at here, they can Mortal Coil and then Defile to take out 3 of the minions on this board. Tulid.
And then they're just trying to get
Yeah.
a taunt.
This taunt will be useful for them here.
If Arizona State loses,
Because of that misplay.
and then they get reverse swept,
Ooh.
how would that feel?
It would feel bad, Aluna. It would feel very bad.
Like that would be horrible. I would hate. So I played in a tournament and this exact thing happened to me.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was up 2-0. I missed lethal in game 3, and then I got reverse swept.
Oh.
Like there's literally nothing that feels worse than that. And then they cube pack. So if he doesn't trade, or if Arizona State doesn't trade, this 3-3 is going to be cubed. It's going to be dark pacted.
Mm-hmm.
And then that 3-3 is going to turn into 2 5/9s. That can only be answered by devolve. You don't. It's hard enough to plow through 2 5/9s, let alone 2 3/9s with
Yeah.
1 3s coming out of them. This is bad. This is bad for Arizona State. And they
Yeah.
don't. They're not trading.
Having all of those demons in hand is going to look pretty good come turn 9. Let's see if that's what UCLA chooses to go for, cubing the
They may
taunt.
decide to.
They do have some other options. I mean, obviously, it's only one more turn until they can drop the Void Lord, and then they can start cubing those.
Well, you're probably gonna die if you don't. Well, now you're not gonna die. This is why you.
Okay, interesting.
What charge minion are you playing around? You had enough mana to Hellfire. You could. Oh, you okay?
The Hellfire.
I
wouldn't have-
forgot this. I forgot this minion had an ability. It can't attack unless you have 5 armor or more. I think it is.
Yeah.
I forgot about that completely. I don't see this card ever get played. Wait,
What is it called? Candlewick
Wait.
Golem?
wait. Remember when I said they miss lethal? They didn't miss lethal.
Oh, because the card can't
Because
attack?
the card can't attack, yeah.
Dang, we don't even know what this card is.
No, I have seen this card played against me twice in Dungeon Run.
Everything we're saying is wrong.
I have only ever seen this card played in Dungeon Run. And it was able to attack because the guy always has like 40 armor.
Yeah.
It's okay, guys. I finished 500 top 500 legend, but I still suck. I don't know what cards do. I'm countered by Evolve Shaman and randomness. Let's see. Bloodlust is still an insane card.
Looks like they're going to put down the Flame Tongue Totem.
Just push damage. Just push damage so they get closer to dead. Okay, so the 5/4 can never attack. So the 5/4 can never attack. But it can be evolved. That's the
UCLA.
problem. Tempo Cube.
Okay.
Tempo Cube is one of the most underrated. It's something that's deceptively good. You see it happen and you're confused.
Speaking of good,
Yeah, this turn's
Unstable Evolution.
nuts. This turn's nuts. It's like Evolve, but better.
But, well, a little better.
Yeah, it's strictly better,
Yeah.
given this hand. Because
Which one of these? Which one of these should I evolve next? I like having a taunt. 4/6s are good, but this 4/6
I like having a
is this
taunt.
4/6? That's not going to trigger, right?
Nah, they don't run Yaks around.
Yeah.
I personally don't like having 4/5s. I'd rather have something bigger than a 4/5.
Yeah.
Just me. I mean, half the time you get something bigger anyway. That's
That's
okay.
pretty good.
That's good.
That's pretty good.
Stormwind champion. Good card.
There's the Umbra.
Umbra doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
for like
Umbra's
3
not
turns.
going to help right now.
Void Lord. Kind of
Doomguard in
helps.
hand is bleh.
Yeah, Doomguard's unplayable. Void Lord is probably the
Lord's-
only playable card right now.
They want to get around this taunt and this 6/6.
As the Q block right now, you really
Yeah,
just want to
you
just want to jam Void Lords and draw into your Gul'dan.
Mhm.
And this list doesn't run this off, but
No.
half the list now are, and that's another win condition kind of want to draw to,
Mhm.
especially against aggro. Like if you draw an Azoth, it's the same thing as playing Gul'dan, except you don't gain 5 life. You spawn a bunch of Void Lords and lackeys and sometimes beetles.
Yeah, at this point, the Void Lord's the only thing that has any chance of keeping you alive. And,
Yeah, and it's-
the only reason you'd be afraid of playing it is Devolve.
Yeah, and it's, let's be real though, Devolve based on, so Bloodlust has been in hand for like 4 turns,
Yeah,
5 turns, 6 maybe. That could be Devolve.
it could be Devolve, yeah.
It's entirely possible. Mana Tide Totem draws them closer to Devolve.
Mhm. Also,
This Void Lord is extremely annoying. Like, you have an 8 attack minion. The 8 doesn't get through 9. So you have to sink an extra minion. These minions are big, too, at this point.
mhm.
That's 2 big minions turning into a 3/9. Usually lets you play another 3/9. That's good for us. We take... That's about as good of news as we're going to get for right now.
What? So, with this big of a board, does the Q block have any way to deal with the board, or just, like, delay against it?
Okay, so what could happen? Are there any tricky levels? I'm trying to think of... So they don't
I'm
run
looking
Twisting
to
Nether.
it.
Okay, so there's
No.
always... There's always some Defile shenanigans that could happen.
Right.
When Void Walkers and Void Lords come into the equation, there's always the Defile. You just have to find it. So if second Defile comes out, there's a way. Okay, so we have 10 mana. We have Void Lord costs 9. We have a 1-cost spell. We potentially draw a card. Card might be good.
Mm-hmm.
At the very least, we have the option to draw a card right now. So I like taking the trade from Cube into the 5/5. Mortar
Yeah.
Coiling it, seeing what we get. At worst, it's 1 card closer to Gul'dan.
Yeah.
And that's the card you want to see right now. You've only played a Doomguard and Void Lords. You want Gul'dan because you want more Void Lords. You want more health. You want the suck hero power. You just want to go. You want to do good things with that card.
Looks like that's not what they're going to do, though. Lifesteal, taking out that, weakening everything.
This-
They're still probably going to Mortal Coil.
This looks like it was
Um,
a sequencing error. Or no, okay. They just want more health on their.
Yeah.
Okay, because they're saying that you're not going to get to the
Oh, we're
Void Lord.
looking at the Doomguard.
They're looking to go aggressive and win the game with the Doomguard.
Okay.
They choose instead to be defensive. They don't want their opponent to draw cards.
Missed an
fine.
attack with one of those.
Rope makes things difficult.
Yeah.
I like it. It was fine. It's a good play.
Yeah. ASU probably glad that they still have that Bloodlust now, as they can develop their board like this.
Yeah, they could do this, and it could be scary. See, this is why
There's the other cube.
this is the reason I like having the Void Lord, because now you have to spend mana developing a Void Lord.
Mhm.
That makes me sad. I like not spending mana to do clunky things. It's not going to look too bad for UCLA, though. They're going to be able to trade away the big threat on the board, which is the 7/4. They're going to be able to trade into the Searing Totem. You want to get rid of the Searing Totem because it's a totem. You don't want them to have a better chance to roll a better totem. Searing Totem is the worst one, granted. So if that sticks on the board, it lets them get better ones more consistently or guaranteed. Void Lords are just good.
Still a dangerous game for Arizona State.
I mean, luckily for UCLA.
I mean, for UCLA.
It's dangerous, but luckily for them, Arizona State drew bricks.
Yeah.
Like 2-ton bricks in the form of Fireflies. Firefly is one of the best cards you can ever see in the first 2 turns.
The first 2.
It does a lot. 1/2s are good. They're almost as good as 1/3s. But it's one of the worst cards you could see unless you're playing Tempo Rogue with Vile Spines or some other combo card in your hand late game. That card is outrageously bad.
Yeah, Arizona State doesn't.
They don't have Void.
They don't have any options available to them right now. That much is obvious. Playing the Bloodlust to get rid of these taunts so that your opponent can get more taunts. Not great. There's the Skull, so that will be the Doom Guard next turn if they play it.
So I'm not sure how I feel about trading the 1/1, and it doesn't do anything. It literally does nothing. Around Defile, it clears your board anyway. Like, it doesn't change how much damage you output. So if you top deck Devolve, it doesn't matter. It does the same thing. It just leaves you with a card in your hand, and a card in your hand is usually better than not. I don't know. It's honestly inconsequential. I just like not spending cards if you can have an opportunity to not spend a card.
Devolve is really the only option that ASU has here.
If they draw Devolve, they still have a chance to win the game.
Yeah.
But the problem is this board, even if they
There's
devolve
still some other.
if they devolve this board, it's still going to spawn 2 8/8s.
Ooh, there's the Defile.
There's lethal here somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They
There's got to be lethal here somewhere.
There is, yeah. 3, 3, 3, 4 to face, 2 to the taunt. UCLA has won this.
2, 2, yeah. 3, 9, yeah.
All right, UCLA taking game 3. Going to keep Arizona State from sweeping them. Q-Block. Q-Block is a scary thing.
Q-Block wins games.
Yeah, and so, but Q-Block is won now. Can't be played again.
No?
So, UCLA going to have to pull out a win against the Evolved Shaman with both of their Control Paladin and their Big Spell Mage.
This is going to be rough.
Yeah.
But
let's get right into game 4 of this matchup.
So, in this matchup, the key cards for UCLA are going to be Equality, Consecration, Sunkeeper Tarim, and probably Call to Arms. Those are 4 cards they want to see. I'm not sure if they necessarily want to keep, because they have 3 of the cards they want to have later in the game, right now. It's tough. You really want stuff to deal with the early game, but Shaman has a lot of late game that can come out of nowhere. With Doppelgangster Evolve into potential Thrall shenanigans, anything, any wide board into Thrall shenanigans, like, it can set up potentially dangerous situations where you want to have these cards, and if you mulligan them away, you're guaranteed to not have those cards in your hand initially.
There it goes. Mulliganing the Sunkeeper Tarim.
Yeah. I thought we were all looking at the mulligan. So I was talking about the UCLA mulligan as if everyone saw it. They had Consecration, Equality, and Tarim.
Oh yeah, everyone saw it.
As I was talking about. Yeah. Those are good cards. You want them, but Tarim is just too heavy, and it doesn't do enough.
I don't know if I would have kept the equality here.
Yeah, that is something, because that's a 6-mana combo.
Yeah.
Generally, if you're having to clear a 6-mana board, you're going to die because Bloodlust exists. They usually have it by turn 5. More often than not, you kind of have to play the Acolyte of Pain here.
But they didn't.
So they don't play the Acolyte of Pain. They don't want to. They want to try and draw more cards off of it. They want to potentially do Wild Pyro into stuff later, or they think that this isn't just this can test the board nice enough.
Yeah, at this point, like the 3/1's gonna either attack the Acolyte of Pain, or it's going to attack face.
Yeah.
And then you're going to kill it next turn.
I mean, Acolyte heals me for 3.
Or that.
Or it heals UCLA for 3. It draws them a card. I like it.
Call to Arms.
Pyro's a good card.
Oh, Pyro's a good card. Dirty Rat's a good card.
Pyro is a very good card. It does shut off potential Pyro equality, or it doesn't shut it off. It reduces the likelihood that it will happen, because you already have Equality Consecrate coming. You already have that saved. But now you only have 1 Pyro in your deck to combo with another Equality. You have 1 Pyro, 1 Cons.
Arizona State could clear with the Flame Tongue Totem and the Maelstrom Portal. They could clear this board.
Is it better to do it with the Jade Lightning? Probably not. No. This pushes more damage. No, there's no world where Jade Lightning's ever better there. I'm silly. You lose. You go face, so that way you give them the potential to. You want UCLA to potentially mess up by not trading into a key minion, unless you value your. No, you value your mana types more. Okay, I like it. I like what's been done.
So
I do not like Karen draw. That's heavy.
Yeah.
It's dead. We can't do much with it. So UCLA is probably going to want to just Acolyte Hero Power, see what they could draw into. Hopefully it improves their position. If I'm Arizona State, I'm looking to have some kind of doppelgangster turn soon. I would love for that to happen. So probably just Jade Lightning to set it up better. Wider board. Wider board is good for Thrall and Evolve. Unstable Evolution, single target Evolve, so it's not as important to have a wide board for that. Gordo Creeper's getting really cheap. That's a free 9-mana minion right now. That's a Ysera potentially.
Yeah.
Can you imagine playing a 0-mana Ysera? That'd be an insane card. I like taking value trades and just. Well, no, you're going into the Consecration Equality turn.
Yeah.
And UCLA kept those 2 cards in the mulligan. If Arizona State's trying to hand read and pen those 2 cards like exactly, they might be able to narrow it down to those 2 cards right now. They're just taking it slow. They're saying we can outvalue you. We can outvalue you, Arizona. We just need time, and we will outvalue you with our constant ability to reload and just flood the board with things that you don't want to clear, but you have to. Because we're going to threaten Bloodlust Lethals on you every turn until you figure out we just don't have it. That's pretty much it. That's what you do. Sometimes you just have to play mind games and say, hey, we have it. Joking. We don't. But we made you waste your resources, and now we actually do have it.
So it looks like UCLA is considering they could do the Equality Consecration and wipe the board. Or they could just do Consecration, and all they would leave up are the 1 Flame Tongue Totem and the Murloc Totem.
Flame Tongue Totem is not impactful. Problem is Mana Tide is.
Yeah.
Mana Tide is impactful enough to warrant an equality. Because if they draw... Remember how I was talking about bluffing a Bloodlust? What happens if you just leave that up and they just draw the Bloodlust?
Yeah.
You don't have to play mind games when you have it. It's just being safe. They want to set up to be able to cleanly play stuff like Karen, Spike Ridge Steed. Like their hand's heavy. If they have to constantly deal with stuff like that, like maybe they don't have reload. Maybe Arizona just doesn't have the ability to reload as hard as they'd like to.
Arizona's hand a little clunky right now because playing the Doppelgangster without being able to evolve it is never super ideal.
You're never happy about it, but
you have two Doppelgangsters.
Arizona State just used.
And they just use their consecration.
They just use one consecration. They have to have the second one, otherwise, there's a thrall in hand.
Mm-hmm.
I like getting 7 mana cards for little to no cost.
Mm-hmm. And if they, like, UCLA can't really do anything about this board other than Rallying Blade to take out one of them.
They're just going to Karen into it. Like this is the best time to play the card too. That's the sad part. This is a scary board, and this is the best time to play it. That is not lethal, but it's scary.
I mean, Totem, Creeper, Thrall, right?
Nah, you wanna. You'd like to go Creeper, Thrall. Use the hero power to evolve whatever comes out of it that you don't like.
Oh, right.
Yeah. An 8-drop is going to be more impactful than having a 3-drop. What comes out of this, though? Are they still debating playing it? I don't think there's any merit to waiting.
Yeah.
I think you just go. You gain armor. You do lose the ability to try and go with the I'm going to totem every turn and pressure Bloodlust. Unlucky.
Dormo.
Unlucky. But that was
there it is.
That was the most that was the best top deck.
Oh, top deck.
That was the best top deck available. It allows them to do
Pyromancer.
That was sick. That was insane.
And UCLA has cleared this board.
That was unlucky. That was a lot of different things for both teams.
2 Bloodlusts in hand.
You reload with a Doppelgangster and Unstable Evolution.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta do it. You gotta. It's a discount or a very expensive evolve. Makeshift evolve.
Yeah. 4/4.
It's very
not
very
excellent. 4/6 also not excellent.
I mean, 4/6 is average stats.
Yeah.
4/6 is average stats. 4/4 is a little underwhelming. 7/6 is above average, and that's really good. Above average is nice. I didn't even know that was a 6-mana minion. I thought that was an 8-mana minion.
6 mana, 7/6.
6 mana, 7/6. Give your Cthulhu +2/+2. Why did that card never see play? I mean, I know it's too slow, but
and it was just bulky in the 6th spot when you had so many other cards that could give buff your Cthulhu.
Yeah. I don't know. Cards cool. I like it. Corridor Creeper is. I remember Trump talking about Corridor Creeper in the reveal, and he said how underwhelming it was of a top deck. You can really see it now more than ever. That card does nothing right now. 7 mana, it's almost 7 mana, do nothing. You get an 8-drop, but you get an 8-drop this way too. 7-drop this way, sorry. Do you Unstable Evolution?
Yeah, that.
I think, are we in a bad enough spot we have to now? Terran? Yeah. You evolve 3 times and then Jade Lightning something, or you Jade Lightning now and potentially evolve it twice. That's okay. See how it goes.
that taunt off of the first one I think was a pretty good
1/1 into
scenario.
1/1 into 1/1
into 1.
Not a 1/1.
3.
2 mana, 2 mana +0/+2. That's worse than Power Word Shield. Didn't even draw a card. That's upsetting. I like drawing cards.
Yeah, Arizona State. That
Spike Rage
Pyromancer quality put them in a pretty bad spot.
We don't have any more qualities. We don't really value this consecration. This is probably the best value it's getting right now. It's going to clear a 4/8 and a 1/3.
Mm-hmm.
We take it. We just cash in. We Spike Ridge Steed. It becomes the... Okay.
Spread your stats out.
I can respect that. Okay. I like this play too. They can so Arizona State can potentially go wide. They just want to keep the consecration.
Yeah.
I just like cashing in on making a big minion, B, because Devolve does the same thing regardless of who we put it on.
Ooh,
It's
charge.
It's better against Charge Devilsaur.
Ooh.
That's being.
Do you devolve here?
No, you devolve and push face down.
Yeah.
You set up.
I think so.
Have they already used both Jade Lightnings? I believe they've only used one. So you set
I
up
think so.
a potential Jade Lightning top deck for lethal.
Ooh, there you go.
The light. You gotta. Is there a better play than playing Ragnar's Light Lord? You saw the devolve off the top. You could just double taunt and feel okay with yourself.
Yeah. Double taunt. Double taunt's pretty good. Ragnar's Light Lord.
Might be able to triple taunt.
Ragnar's Light Lord seems good. Obviously, in this situation,
I mean, you died of Bloodlust,
you
so
would die.
Ragnaros on his own is not good enough. You need something to pair with it. Ragnaros next turn will be good.
Yeah.
Sunkeeper Tarim is
Ooh.
good. We take it. That's playable now. That's something I want to do now.
Should they hit face with the
They
5/5
should.
first?
They
Yeah, there you go.
They should, yes. There we go.
The weapon. Do you save it in hopes that you'll be able to use it after you Light Lord? Or is it too late?
You just hold it for now.
I guess
guess.
there's no point hitting face with
You
it
don't currently
now.
have a weapon in hand.
You can always hit face with it later.
The only other weapons you have in your deck are Second Rallying Blade and Uther weapon. Tyrion weapon. Tyrion weapon's another one.
Yeah.
Really slow, so you can play around. You can plan when you're going to get Tyrion weapon more often than not. Say, oh, I'm going to play Tyrion this turn. I'm probably going to get the weapon this turn on my opponent's turn. I swing.
There's Light Lord.
Yeah. Light Lord's good. This is lights out from here. There's nothing Arizona State can really draw other than second evolve.
That would be pretty good, though.
But your opponent still has a really wide board.
Mm-hmm.
One of their cards is going to be a 7-drop.
There's the Jade Lightning that they needed last turn.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, this has been quite the swinging match.
Yeah. Game of inches. Almost got there, but a clutch equality draw. Just kind of a clutch equality draw, a clutch evolve, and a clutch devolve. Like both like a bunch of things that made this game really, really close.
The Devilsaur.
It was a close game, but this is lights out for Arizona State. You can't outvalue infinite healing. You can't Jade Lightning face and trade with a minion to get a 50-50 to set up a 6 damage to the face lethal. It's not available to you anymore. You have second evolve, so you can potentially connect with 2 damage to face. But you're not going to be able to set up. You don't have 4 more damage to push. You're either going to die on board, which you did.
All right.
Like even to do that, you die on board. A, B. Even if you didn't die on board, your opponent 50-50 heals out of range. On top of that, you don't have 4 damage in your deck to push. Minions never stick, so Bloodlust never gives you additional damage. And you can't draw 2 cards, so devolve on its own. Like, A, you have to draw devolve. B, you have to have 4 damage. C, you have to win the 50-50. Like, you have to do things that you can't do.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that you legitimately just die on board.
Yeah.
I'm trying to ignore that.
Yeah. So yeah, UCLA taking that game 4, and so we're gonna get game 5 for the second time tonight. And we have the potential of seeing another reverse sweep here.
Yes, we do. For
UCLA is now playing their big spell mage.
Yeah.
Yep.
This game is very favored for the mage.
Mm-hmm.
Now seeing 3 2-drops drawn against an aggro deck, very, very favored against the mage. Seeing 3 2-drops and the 5-mana board clear, very, very, very favored for the mage. So UCLA is, I put them at about 90% to win this game.
That's high. All right.
It's going to take some crazy shenanigans on Arizona State's side to get some kind of doppelgangster into some kind of crazy evolve, and to still somehow surviving through Dragon's Fury, blizzards, meteors, and getting there.
UCLA going to go wide, playing all of their 2-drop minions.
Wide boards beat wide boards.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the UCLA is out-aggroing the aggro right now.
Very much so. And even still, the best thing they could do, the best thing Arizona State could do right now is play a 5/5.
Yeah.
And
they could coin into the Primal Fin Totem, into the thing from below.
they could. Jade
Or they
Lightning
could just-
Jade Lightning on its own is not good enough.
Yeah.
It's not an option. At the same time, playing
So
the Primal
they're-
Fin Totem does take away your ability to doppelgangster coin evolve.
Yeah.
That is available to you. You can't take that away from yourself. It's too valuable. It's too much. It's too good.
Yeah. UCLA going to use their ping, which is great.
But now,
Really the only option that they had.
yeah. Doppelgangster coin evolve. This decides a lot of where the game goes.
This will decide the game.
Not strictly,
Evolve.
but it does.
Ooh, okay,
That's
so this 5/9 can't attack. We know that now.
Yeah, we learned. This is the second time I've seen this card.
We learned. Savannah Highmane. Always a great card.
Yes, it provides pressure after a Dragon's Fury, which
Mhm.
is going to come down. I probably should have looked at Arizona State's hand more before I said I put them at 90% to win this game. Because when I said what had to happen, I looked at the hand and I was like, oh, these are available to them.
Yeah.
Oh, this could be closer. Yeah, I wasn't paying enough attention to Arizona State's hand. This
UCLA chooses to play their Pyros instead of their Dragon's Fury.
They want to be able to trade into things to soften it. They have
Mhm.
1 or 2 ice blocks in their deck. They have 2. They have 2 ice blocks. 2 ice blocks gives you 2 chances at rolling 3 damage. 3 damage does nothing to this board. You want to be able to soften up the board so that way 3 damage does do something to this board.
Yeah.
Low rolling sucks, but it is a very likely thing to happen considering you have a Dragon's Fury, a Blizzard, a Meteor, another Dragon's Fury. What's left in your deck is a Blizzard, a Meteor, 2 Flame Strikes, and 2 Ice Blocks, 2 Polymorphs. 4 of those are not all that great. 2 Ice Blocks, 2 Polymorphs, they don't clear most boards that the Shaman can make with Doppelgangsters, Evolves, and other.
Are we going to see
Similar
6
effects.
mana worth of unstable evolutions?
I expect to see it. But I like settling things at 7 drops because then you have the ability to thrall into 9 drops. You do not want to thrall into 10 drops because it's a coin flip with those. 10 drops are very, very swingy. They are either really good because Deathwing and Tyrantus and other Deathwing and Ultrasaur, or they're really bad because of N'Zoth, Cthulhu, and everyone's favorite card, Yogg-Saron. So it's roughly a 50-50 to get a good card or a bad card. And why take 50/50s when you can just set your set your creatures up to be 7 mana, evolve into 9, and 9 mana cards are good, except for Noggin Farmer, Noggin Fogger, and what's his name? 9 mana, 5/4, play a random spell guy. Primal Tartle. I'm thinking of all the 9-drops.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Like, those are the 2 worst ones, and even still, they're okay.
All right, Arizona State.
Is Arizona State skipping another really good Thrall turn? I guess they just don't want to get swept by a Dragon's Fury. They don't want to have any potential for Dragon's Fury.
Looks like we're going to do another unstable evolution, though.
This is okay. Just make bigger dudes.
Make bigger dudes.
When given the option to not make bigger dudes or to make bigger dudes, I like to make bigger dudes. I still don't quite understand why we're not Thrall. King Crush is insane.
Ooh, Crush!
King Crush is insane.
King Crush!
King Crush is insane. Hilarious card. I love it.
Oh, man.
Katharina is an 8 mana.
We're going to evolve the Crush into a Yasharaj in the house. I don't think it's going to pull anything super great.
Pulls a Manatide, which does nothing.
Yeah.
But a 10/10 is nuts.
Yeah.
How do you escape lethal? I mean, Meteor is the obvious answer.
Meteor is
to
alright.
Yasharaj.
Yeah.
But how do you deal with a 4/8? How do you deal with a 4/8 with Wind Fury?
With Wind Fury.
That.
I mean, I guess you could Dirty Rat.
This looks really bad.
Yeah.
I guess the best play would probably be to trade into the 2/1 and then Meteor, or the 1/2 and then Meteor. Because you don't want your opponent to have a Manatide. They got it for free. Let's kind of take it away for little cost. You're not doing anything else with the 2/2. Play the Beetle just doesn't do enough to set anything up for anything else. You can just Meteor this now, ping something else. Hopefully you don't die. There's only 10 damage represented on board. There's still potential lethal though. That's actually pretty heads up.
Yeah.
It doesn't play around Bloodlust. Bloodlust still kills them
Getting
handily.
the 3 armor.
But it does play around the potential Jade Lightning plus spell power.
Yeah.
That was very heads up, and I'm impressed more than anything. That was really nice. Do you Thrall now?
Do you Thrall now? Well, you go face first.
Of course. All right. There's choice and strategic lines of play, and then there's straight misplays. And then not attacking face is just a choice and a strategic line of play. It's playing a mind game.
You're right.
Not
You're
a
right.
misplay.
Okay.
Hey, you killed one 10/10. I'm going to put another one in my deck.
Yeah. Too bad it's in the deck.
I like not hero powering, right? Because that just goes into a 10-drop, and 10 drops.
Oh, devolve.
You did 1 damage to your minion. How dare
Nice.
you? Like,
see, I can ping my minions too.
Exactly. It's a 50-50. It has its highs and its lows. You're already set up to do extremely well.
Yeah.
Why try and go? Why try and win more when you can win enough now? I guess
right,
they
Dirty
wanted
Rat.
to take the 50-50 chance of getting a better card so that way they can play better around Dragon's Fury. Because a Dragon's Fury hit on a 7 plus a ping did clear their board. Dragon's Fury hit on 7 just clears their board straight up. Develops a 1/1.
Polymorph.
That is not 7 damage.
That hurts a little bit.
At least there's still a taunt in the way.
Yeah.
We take the small wins. It's still going to be lethal because of Devolve. But, you know, they don't know that yet. UCLA still has hope.
There
Just
it is.
Devolve, Jade Lightning.
Devolve, Jade Lightning, and that's going to be match, game, set.
It was close. It was almost a reverse sweep.
UCLA almost reverse swept Arizona State, but Arizona State was able to pull it out in the end with their Evolve Shaman, which they were having trouble with for a while. You predicted they had a 10% chance to win that game.
Yeah, I should have looked at
You should have looked at their hand.
at their hand a little bit more, because if I had looked at Arizona State's hand before I said that, I probably wouldn't have said 90%.
Doppelgangster Evolve.
Yeah, Doppelgangster Evolve's the key combo in that whole sequence of winning the game. You need that combo to A, come, B, be nuts, or not nuts, but be good.
Okay.
To where it doesn't get answered by Dragon's Fury. If it does get answered by Dragon's Fury, you have to have second Doppelgangster Evolve to win that game.
All right, well, that's the end of our second game of the night. We'll be back to talk a little bit more about that and see our final game of Stanford versus USC right after this break. So stay tuned.
black hole, coalesce beneath the ground. All done by my own hand. I allow my feelings to become sand. If you're gonna cut me down, better do it quickly now. Now you can cut me down, but I won't stay for long. I'll grow back again. Oh yeah, my roots are strong. My roots are strong. Say the word, say the word. Say the word, make it right. Say the word and we can run around the earth and around the sun. Say the word and we can stay. Forget about that better place. And I know you're healing, 'cause I know the feeling. The streets stop breathing. I don't wanna let you. Say the word, say the word. I give in to the lesser fight. My body aches to be satisfied. My weakness comes and goes. My weakness comes and goes. I'm reaching out for the easy high. Please fortify this strength of mine. My weakness comes and goes. My weakness comes and goes.
Welcome back to the Pacific Alliance of Collegiate Gamers Spring Tournament. We are in week 2 of our Hearthstone tournament, broadcasting live from the Einar Nielsen Fieldhouse right here at the University of Utah. We've already gone through 2 games already tonight, so let's take a look at those, at the standings. Colorado lost their first match against Oregon, and Arizona State won their first match against UCLA. Those both matches went to 5 games. Great plays by all the teams.
Yeah, spectacular. So Oregon won in a reverse sweep. It's pretty sad to see Big Spell Mage just kind of get rolled over like that. But on the reverse side, Arizona State also had a really close game. 5 games, almost got reverse swept on Token Shaman.
Yeah.
Very, very intense series we're having here.
Yeah, but then they were able to pull it out at the end of the night. So that's going to do it, though, for our our tournament matches for the night. This final game, USC versus Stanford, is going to be a show match. So these teams are not in the same region in the PACG. And so this game is not going to count for or against their group score, which hopefully that means maybe we'll be able to see the players play a little bit more, I don't know, fast and loose, play some fun decks.
I mean, I'm more interested in seeing some fun plays.
Some fun plays.
I want to see them take some potentially suboptimal lines and play something, do something really wacky. Like when I said earlier today, I wanted to see, what was it, Colorado. I wanted to see them play Jaina. I said it was risky, but it's probably the winning line. Maybe that happens in a game where nothing's on the line.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's take a look at the matchup as we're going into it. Here we go. University of Southern California players JJXTX, Jackstax. I don't know how you'd pronounce that. Matt Fuss and Soul Reaper. And they are bringing with them a Murloc Paladin, a Combo Priest, a Miracle Rogue, and a Control Warlock. And it looks like we don't know what the bans are yet.
All right, on the other side, we have Stanford. Their players are Mitchell, Tail Toxie, and Sir Windhunt. They're playing a Combo Priest, a Q-Block, a Murloc Paladin, and a Tempo Mage. And we just got the bans in. The bans are Control Warlock and...
Murloc Paladin.
Yeah, USC's Control Warlock is banned, and Stanford's Murloc Paladin is banned.
Which means we're not going to see Rin, which I am sad about.
No.
But we also don't have to watch a Murloc Paladin mirror, which I am happy about.
No.
Yeah, both players were bringing in a Murloc Paladin, and both players were bringing in a Combo Priest. And one of the things that you mentioned before when we were looking at these decks is that the possibility that USC might not ban Stanford's Q-Block solely so that they can get a Miracle Rogue win off of it.
You do not play Miracle Rogue if you are not targeting Q-Block, or just a Warlock in general. Miracle Rogue struggles against aggressive decks and does decently against control decks. It does better against Cube Warlock than it does against other control decks, but
okay.
The reasoning is if you isolate this matchup with taking Warlock out, then Stanford just looks favored. The Miracle Rogue is going to struggle to get a win against any of Stanford's decks, period. Like, the Combo Priest is going to be an easier matchup than the other two because the other two just kind of want to kill you in the face and make you dead. And they do a very good job of doing that, but the Combo Priest is susceptible to saps, Vile Spines, tools that are in the kit of the Miracle Rogue's deck. But if you run out of those tools, or if you just don't draw them, it's hard to really close out a game against the Priest. They tend to stick a minion, Divine Spirit Interfire it, hit you with it 3 times, and you die pretty consistently if you don't sap it, Vile Spine it, or you just run out of these things.
So, all right. Well, I think that sounds like the match is about to start. So we're going to go right into our opening mulligan phase here. Oh, we missed the mulligan. That's okay. So, looks like here we go. Stanford is starting out with their Tempo Mage, and USC is starting out with Murloc Paladin.
We already get to see Stanford's tech card in the Hungry Crab.
The Hungry Crab.
They run one of them, and it's in their hand. In the matchup, they want to have it in. That's...
Time runs out on me.
So you have one Hungry Crab.
One Hungry Crab, it's in your hand.
You have a full deck of Murlocs that you're playing against.
And you're roping turn 1 because you're thinking about future turns. You're not rushing things.
But that's the Hungry Crab.
So Hungry Crab is pretty much just a snap play. It is automatically what you do on turn 1 against a Murloc, but they just want to know how they're playing out their future turns. They want to know if they're playing a Sorcerer's Apprentice next turn, if they're templating Media's Valet, or if they're going to connect the Kirin Tor. These are all things that they wanted to have extra time to talk about.
Right.
But 3-4. 3-4 is just good.
let's see. Now this Murloc Paladin, is running a Bitter Tide Hydra,
Yeah.
and one Spellbreaker.
Cute combo.
Yeah. One unidentified Maul, and the rest is.
And the Noble Sack pickup is really good in the current mode state. It basically does the same thing as Redemption, except your opponent doesn't have the option to go face to play around Redemption. They have to either go face and play into Noble Sack or full trade as if it was Redemption anyway. I like it. I like the different secrets they chose to play.
Get down!
It's probably just Kieran, Tormage, and Counterspell.
Yeah.
You're going into turn 4. Even though your opponent has a 1-mana spell, you're going into turn 4. You can't let them get it off for free. Plus, a 3-mana 4/3s. Pretty good for stats.
Oh, Medivh's Valet. Also a decent option to clear the board and keep the
Excuse me.
Yeah.
You are on fire.
keep the apprentice alive.
I like it. I really like it. It plays better on board. This is why I don't play Tempo Mage.
And like you said, there's a secret down, so
Yeah, so
USC can't afford to waste one of their call to arms on this counterspell.
at the same time, they don't know whether it's Counterspell or Rune, so they have to decide how they want to play this turn. Do you actually play the Divine Favor instead of playing the Redemption if you test for Call to Arms? Divine Favor is dead.
Yeah.
It is worse than Arcane Intellect.
I wonder.
Usually in Aggro Mirrors, you play it as Arcane Intellect. It's 3-mana draw 2. Now it is 3-mana draw nothing. It is worse. It is worse than having any other card in your deck.
Looks like they're going to use that so that they can try to get a minion down this turn.
That's a good draw.
The explosive runes.
It doesn't do much against USC's hand. They don't have any minions yet, but most of their deck is going to be minions.
Well, and if they play that, there's no way for USC to know that it isn't another counterspell.
Yeah, they have to play more mind games. They don't have the 1-mana secret. They don't have the 1-mana spell to test anymore either. They do ever have Redemption up, so they have to chew through this minion aggressively. Their own minions. That means their own minions die. Or
Wait.
2/3 dies. Or the 2/3 doesn't die. Oh wait, the
They
redemption.
don't have redemption.
The redemption's
up 'cause
got
they
counterspell.
counterspelled.
Yeah. Okay. I was. See,
Yeah.
I can't see the secret.
We
so-
all get it.
Yeah.
You guys can't see the secret either.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Do we?
So.
We just don't respect.
All right. Take the risk. Pay it off.
So.
Too bad the Knife Juggler was the third card.
Yeah. Unfortunate sequencing, but
Grimscale Chum not going to hit anything, but it is going to trigger that explosive runes, which was probably, let's see, in their stick they have 1 ice block, 2 explosive runes, 2 counter spells,
yeah. So
and that's it. So
25% of the time it wasn't counterspell.
yeah,
They decided, okay, 1/4 of the time it's not counterspell. We probably have a solid chance to win the game off of this, as long as we don't get Island and Burn over the top. Which they don't have a Luth. They do, however, have a 2-mana 5/5. 2-mana 5/5 is a very strong stat line. I'd play that in almost all my decks. You can squeeze in the ping, so you can get rid of the Divine Shield Girl, Righteous Protector. You can choose to either kill the Murloc or the Knife Juggler. It's really, do you prioritize killing the synergy, or do you prioritize killing the stronger ability?
yeah. I'm wondering what else Stanford is thinking about.
Probably thinking about potentially pushing face damage instead of not trading. You push face damage, they're closer to being dead. You get them dead. They die. But
It looks like they did choose to take out that knife juggler.
so with your current hand being at 10 and being at, 16.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not 10 and 13. There we go. That's not really all that different because you're only pushing 3 damage. Second, the counter spell doesn't quite do much anymore. The only thing you care about now is like Divine Shield or Blessing of Kings, or not Divine Favor or Blessing of Kings.
Mm-hmm.
Divine Favor only draws them 3 cards or 2 cards at the current time because they're gonna draw 1, but usually they play a card and then Divine Favor. So it's more the Blessing of Kings, but even still, they have to have it in hand, play it. It's probably just want to play for board, do what's best on board, rather than play a I mean, the counterspell is going to be free, so they're going to play it, of course, but it's just unfortunate that it's not something more impactful. What do you do alongside it, though? You
Many secrets.
Source's Apprentice, or do you just ping pass? Hit him in the face.
I think it's
Do you ping face? Do you ping the 1/1? Do you push damage so that USC has to trade?
looks like they're gonna ping the 1/1.
Just denying Megasaur value.
Yeah.
Divine Favor gets counterspelled. More.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they could say it's 100% counterspell, and then they don't care about order, or they think and they realize that they should probably play it in the right order, regardless.
Mm-hmm. Warlock Tidecaller to check for runes.
I mean, you're
And then
usually just
Divine
taking
Favor.
like 1 extra damage, even if you are playing a different minion.
And the second Divine Favor. Arcane Intellect, like you said.
Yep, 2 cards.
Megasaur.
Megasaur can be huge next turn. I don't see
Yeah.
this straw is not looking good. It can get a lot better though, very quickly. With as much burn as this mage deck has in it,
Mm-hmm.
it can get there for sure. They just have to decide whether or not they want to try and commit to the face plan,
Yeah.
or they want to try and fight on board still.
Because USC is at 14 health.
A fireball closes out the game.
Yeah.
Because fireball ping. But they need time for that. Do they fight on board first and then decide to do that stuff later? They could still squeeze in the ping. So fireball ping on a future turn is still lethal. Over, it's a multi-turn setup. But this just gets them there. It gets them there the same, but it allows them to at least play on board.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably just Hero Power Megasaur, see where things go. Feel good about most things that happen. Feel bad about Poisonous, and that's about it. I don't. I mean, even Poisonous is good. Like everything it gets good. Stealth. Actually, no. Stealth was the worst.
Stealth is bad.
Plus
+3 attack, pretty good.
What?
The 1/1 plants.
You probably want 1/1 plants here, honestly.
Yeah.
You double trading. Mage is trying to kill you. You don't want that to happen. How trade? You can trade 2, 3.
All right, +1 attack. We're gonna go face.
Just going for
We've
it.
got the.
They decide to trade into the mana worm
Okay.
because that's threatening. But
Yeah.
they go fit. They want
They've got the Divine Shield taunt. Are they
Double
gonna?
trade.
Oh, okay.
double trade.
Clear the board. Keep some strong minions on. Frostbolt, pretty impactful. But do you go face and get them? Try to get them down to. You could get them down to 3 health this turn. Puts them in range of a lot of stuff. But you could also clear 9 damage off of their board.
So alternate.
Mm-hmm.
Same kind of lines, but a little different. You do this where you go double spells to the face, you ping the 4/1.
Yeah. All right.
Because USC being at 3 health and being at 4 health, there is no difference. Frostbolt closes the game. Fireball closes the game. Firelands Portal closes the game. Every bit or increment of damage they do will close the game. It doesn't matter if it's at 3 or at 4, because they can just ping alongside anything that's 3. Arcane Intellect and a spell, or not spell, into Secret plus Medivh's Valet closes the game, right?
Primordial Glyph.
No, 3, 6, 8. No, it's 1 off.
That could very easily close the game.
Yeah. Primordial Glyph into damage, into anything that's not...
And there it is, Firelands Portal.
Yeah. Like, just so many ways they closed the game out with Burn. They did not need to put them to...
All right, so our first game going to go to...
well played by both sides.
Yeah.
Like, very well played.
very well played by both sides. But in the end, Stanford's Tempo Mage is going to be the winner there.
Yeah. Favorite thing about that entire that entire game. 100% favorite thing was turn 1 basically roping.
Yeah.
To the end. It's not BM, it's strategic.
Am I gonna play the Hungry Crab?
they were talking about their turn 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And it was really good.
Yeah, I think that was kind of the hallmark of that first game, and it could end up being the hallmark of all of these games, is that these teams are obviously thinking through what they're doing. They're playing decks that you could just kind of play on autopilot, but if Stanford hadn't taken the time to think, am I going to trade or am I going to push face here? What am I going to do with these spells and everything? That game could have turned out very differently.
They could have been 1 damage off lethal.
Yeah.
And that's always a sad thing to have happen.
Yeah.
Both sides.
Yeah. And so we're ready to go into game 2 here. So let's see what's going on. Looks like USC is playing their Miracle Rogue against the Combo Priest.
This is it. This is probably the Rogue's best shot at getting a win.
Yeah?
Can they do it?
I thought Q-Block was their best shot at getting a win.
Oh, wait. I forgot. I forgot. I'm so used to Q-Block being banned.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Okay. Scratch my head. Q-Block.
So yeah. But do you think that Miracle has a shot against Combo Priest?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
They just need to draw key cards, saps, Faustbinds. You cannot let them get the board early. You cannot let them abuse their lead on the board early. Like, you just have to shut them down. Nothing sticks ever. That's the game plan. Nothing sticks. Deny them all value from their minions.
Okay. All right, turn 2. Priest turn 2, always fun.
Radiant Elemental plus Power Word Shield seems decent. It's not weak to anything in particular. Prep, Fan of Knives, Eviscerate. Oh no, they had it. Well, that was fun.
They do.
Oh my, okay, well now they're not weak to
Oh, they didn't play
They
it.
didn't play it. I don't know why.
They don't have prep. USC doesn't have prep.
They did not draw the prep. That would have been... also just prep Eviscerate. That's another one. Didn't have to be Fan of Knives.
That's true. Prep Eviscerate weapon.
Why not draw? I don't understand. So you're playing a deck that wants to draw their cards.
Yeah.
All their cards. So,
But you're also playing a deck that wants minions with high health so that they can have high attack.
But Power Word Shield does both of these things. If Stanford plays Power Word Shield on their Radiant Elemental, they will have a high health. They will have a high health minion.
Right.
That drew a card.
My only argument is that
It's weak to Valspine. It's weak to
at this point, Stanford doesn't have the cards in hand to make a big guy, and so the Power Word Shield could serve them better later. Granted, obviously, card draw is the solution to that.
Yeah, I guess weak to Sap. Don't play into Sap.
Yeah.
Fair enough. You got me.
All right. USC
Coin SI, Shadow Step SI is available to them. Probably not.
Not the cleanest play.
Probably not what you want to do.
Choose soon.
Although,
Okay.
no, coin eviscerate. No, coin
Eviscerate, Coin
Coin.
SI.
coin eviscerate SI. All right.
You know what this means? This means that USC is going to top deck Edwin Van Cleef.
Yeah.
Every time you utilize resources in this manner, Edwin Van Cleef is the very next card you see.
Mhm. And Sanford, like, that was 4 cards out of USC's hand.
You know what? I'm thinking if I'm Stanford right now,
Mhm.
there's no sap in hand.
There's no sap. Nope.
That was
definitely
very
not.
that was very awkward use of resources. There is no sap in hand. You would sap a 2/8 with this deck. You die this turn, sometimes, as USC. Like a 2/8 staring at you, reducing the cost of spells. You are Shadow Vision's Divine Spirit, Inner Fire away from dying,
Yeah.
and it happens. Not often, but enough times. Respect it with a sap.
So do they do the Shadow Visions now?
I think it's time to finally Power Word Shield.
We're gonna Nether Spy Historian first. Interesting.
So
Okay.
Duskbreaker is kind of the see Duskbreaker, pick Duskbreaker.
Yeah.
Cool. I thought about something and it worked out. Awesome. Scaled Nightmare is actually interesting.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Biospine, Sap. That's 3 cards. That's 3 cards that deals with that card. That card is scary for 2 reasons. One, it gets scary over time without Inner Fire.
Mm-hmm.
That can just kill you over 4 turns for free if you don't deal with it. Plus, even with Divine Spirit and Inner Fire, that could that's an 8 health minion. That is equal to what you have on the board right now, and it doesn't even have to work for it. It's not as weak as Sap.
I'm always down to make that card work.
I would. So that is one of that alongside Red Mana Worm. Those are the 2 cards that have not seen play, and they make me sad because they're just so sweet.
Looks like they're really,
They really do not like this radiant
yeah,
elemental.
they
They'd
really
like
want to
try and
take
get rid
this
of it.
Radiant Elemental out. Are they? They're not going to be able to, though.
Okay. Hear me out. Sick draw. Northshire Cleric. Shadow Visions. Circle of Healing.
Dustbreaker.
Alternatively, Duskbreaker and you're sad. 'Cause that utilizes. So that play utilized 2 mana, so you still had 3 mana to get an additional draw off your guy. And put it to full health again.
Mm-hmm. This turn, I would probably just play Draconid.
I'd Power Word Shield first to see what I draw. I want this card to be played. Oh, you could also Draconid Operative and then Power Word Shield. That's fine. As long I think the Power Word Shield is a card that we're getting to a point we need to draw cards. We need Stanford needs to find the key cards in their deck to kill kill the Rift. If you give USC time, they will draw into saps. They potentially have Vile Spine in their hand already. You can't.
Not great options here.
It's yeah, I was about to say, it's probably backstab. Backstab is.
There's the Power Word Shield.
This is good. They use Power Word Shield. Unfortunately, it's gonna get cleared. This is one of the reasons I kind of like the Power Word Shield on the Operative. If you're doing this play, I like the Operative being buffed because higher health guy is good. It doesn't get answered.
They wouldn't have been able to take out the SIA agent without losing that card, though, and this spreads out the threats that need to be hit.
Yeah. Hey, it's Inner Fire. Yeah, this is solid. Just clear your opponent's board, deal 1 damage to your guy. It's fine. Looking to potentially draw a second shadow. So next turn, Radiant Elemental draw, is that lethal? It consumes 2 mana with the Elemental, 3 mana to double Divine Spirit, so that's 5. You are exactly dead with Crazed Alchemist, Divine Spirit, Shadow Visions, Inner Fire, with Radiant off the top. That could have happened. It didn't. It's not gonna happen now. That's honestly probably a really good use of Leroy. Just as a form of clear. Getting your opponent's threat off the board. They were at USC was at a serious threat of dying there. Even though it didn't actually happen.
USC though is at it seems like they're at a pretty serious disadvantage.
Yes,
at
this
this
is what
point.
happens when you don't get your saps, and your other stuff.
There's an Inner Fire.
You run out of resources, and then a minion sticks, and you die. They don't care about the Duskbreaker, because the Duskbreaker is not going to do anything, because they want a minion to stick, so they can kill their opponent. Twilight Drake is insane. So they can still die. Remember the what I was saying a second ago about the Draconoid Operative? It can happen here. They finally drew. So USC finally drew Sap. That's important. But like, if Sap wasn't drawn,
Oh, there's the Edwin.
finally, this was only needed 4 turns ago.
Or even earlier this turn would have felt a little nice. Well, I guess they only had the 1 coin, so they wouldn't have been able to play it and the Gadget Sand this turn.
I'm sorry, I wasn't following. I was looking at prep, eviscerate, at the Un in hand, and I was like, dude.
I just love it when I play 10 cards and then don't have enough mana to play Edwin. That's all.
Yeah. That's why when I played the Brawl a while back, when it's have 3 copies of 3 cards in your hand or in your deck, I ran nothing but coins, Edwins,
and Edwin.
and some arbitrary 3rd card. Probably Shadow Step.
Probably, yeah.
I don't remember what I did, but it was insane and it was fun and I liked it. I made like a 2020 something Van Cleef and it was great.
Instead, we're going to see a 4/4 Van Cleef.
That's death.
Yep. All right, game 2. Gonna go to Stanford. USC taking their 2nd loss of this match. This is a pretty common theme that we're seeing.
Yep, going up 2-0.
Every game, 2-0, 2-0.
Every time.
We'll see if we make it to game 5 again.
It's 100% Q block. That has to be
Yep.
played.
Stanford's only got 1 deck left, and it is Q block.
So, re-Q the Miracle Rogue. Probably your best deck into it. Personally, I've in the matchup, I
Hard
played it a
mulligan
lot.
for Sap. Just
Well,
kidding.
yeah, hard mulligan for Sap. If you have Spellbreaker, hard mulligan for that. But in my personal experience with this matchup, I know it's Rogue favored. But I have like never lost.
All right, well, let's see. It looks like they are going to go with the Rogue.
So so that tells me that this matchup is either very high variance or it's actually not Rogue favored. Like, I know it is. I've seen stats.
Nice.
Stats don't lie.
Stanford
Maybe I'm just
mulliganing their
lucky.
whole hand. USC choosing to keep most of their cards.
Backstab's good. Valspan's good. So a lot of times, if you, as the Warlock, if you have a
There's
one
a
drop,
Sap and a Shiv.
this is looking good for Rogue. You want the spiders to be put in your deck so that you make spiders. Skull is what turns this matchup from being not miserable, but difficult. It takes it from being difficult into borderline on this. Sap does nothing against Skull. It's kind of comparable to back when Rag was in the meta.
Yeah.
So the worst card to see on 8 as Rogue was Mountain Giant and Rag.
Ooh, turn 4 Mountain Giant.
Mountain Giant's insane.
Yeah,
Top deck.
Vile Spine, definitely the...
Top deck Mountain Giant, by the way. But yeah, the worst card for Rogue to see for the longest time on 8 was just Ragnaros. Ragnaros Firelord. Because what do? You sap it, comes back down for 8 mana.
Yeah.
Does the same thing. You wasted your turn. It was depressing. And like the skull does the same thing basically. You oh no, a Void Lord, sap. And then skull just brings it back.
Yeah. Skull is not useful here. Lackey is an option, but
I just like just going for it.
yeah.
It's potentially weak to sap.
Yeah.
I mean not sap, Shadow Step. Different S card. It's not weak to sap in the sense you could just he saps it, USC saps it, you play it again next turn with Dark Pact. You don't mind that. What you do mind is Shadow Step coming down. You mind something like Backstab or any other card being played, Shadow Step coming down, and then with the remaining 3 mana or 5 mana, however much mana you have left, as long as it's enough to play Vile Spine, you Vile Spine whatever comes out. And that's what makes you sap.
Yeah.
If they use sap on a Lackey, you're actually really happy. Because that's, 2 mana they're using. That's 60%, it's 40% of their mana. And they're using it to, they think that they're preventing you from doing something, but you're able to just do it a turn late. Okay, cool. I take that. Stanford decided to draw a card and upgrade their spellstones, so I think that's good as well.
Yeah. Took out the 4/4, regained 5 health.
But
It was a pretty good play, I think.
Lackey's more impactful.
Lackey Dark Pact. Yep, there we go.
Now it saps. You Skull of the Minari, and it also the play I mentioned, just Lackey on 5, it potentially allows you to save the Pact for the cube you top decked that turn.
Yeah.
So just a possibility. Deciding to kill it rather than sap it. If you kill it, it's dead. You can't. There's no way to interact with it. So I like it. You take 5 damage for it, but you're at 30. Okay.
Yeah. Sapping that, I feel like it's kind of a 50-50 play because obviously a Doom guard in your hand sucks unless you have Skull.
Most of the time, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The best games as Q block are the games where you are forced to tempo Doom guard, and you don't get destroyed by just discarding the important cards in your hand. Those are the games that feel good because you had to make a tough decision and you get rewarded for it. Deciding not to cold blood this turn, they don't want to push the damage now. They'd rather push it later. I mean, they know sap's coming down. I mean, they know. So USC knows they have sap next turn. So they know they can just push the cold blood damage next turn if this sticks. It's likely to stick because, like, so from USC's point, they're thinking Stanford has a Void Lord. They're gonna feel comfortable. They think Stanford might think that we would have sapped the Doom Guard, but we didn't. Just playing a small mind game. Or they just want to save it to combo with Leroy. I don't know. Is this just lethal damage with sap though?
No. Trust me.
Not
It
anymore,
looks like they are going to take out that board. I was wondering if they were going to do that, and they took a very roundabout but very interesting way to do it. I really liked that play of using the Defile and the 2/2 rather than some other options like they could have used. They could have used Hellfire and Mortal Coil.
Yeah, they definitely could have. They would have. So instead of being at 23, of course, they'd be at 16. But that's well out of range of most things.
Yeah.
It upgrades your Spellstone. Defile. But the file doesn't really get better in the matchup. That's the problem.
So, USC passed their turn.
Deciding not to sap because they don't push damage. That's fair.
Yeah.
But what are they? What is Stanford gonna do? Probably just Lackey, honestly. Why not? They might not activate it because the resources they'd have to use to activate it are too important.
Yeah.
You don't want a Hellfire when you know your opponent can make a board full of 4/4s out of nowhere. 4/4s are out of range of a Hellfire. So you need Hellfire plus 1 damage, which is usually Defile. And it's hard to kill them with Defile because you don't have a 1, 2, or 3. You don't have a 1, 2, 3.
Looks like they're going to cube this turn, though.
I like it. It's very weak to sap, but
Yeah.
it's a risk. But I feel
That's
like
a great sap target.
Yes. I feel like Stanford has a soft read on no sap. They feel like sap was better than most things. You probably play it, but at the same time, you don't. I don't know how they would have any kind of read on no sap, though. There's no good time to play it. I don't know. This is really risky. When I do stuff like this and I don't have Dark Pact, I really like to have a 7 damage Spellstone. So that way I can still, for 9 mana, destroy my own.
There's the sap.
Yeah. Destroy my own cube and prevent this from happening. On the bright side, Hellfire's live on the 4/3. If Gadget comes down and USC decides to not kill the Mistress, it's live on the potential Gadget too. In the future. Okay, so Lackey, I feel, has to be played here. Lackey or Hellfire. This is also good.
Gul'dan.
This is also good. This brings back Void Lords, and Void Lords win you games against this deck.
We'll bring back 1 Void Lord and 1 Doom Guard.
I'm just thinking about
And a bunch of the little guys.
how do you kill USC? That's what I wanted. That's what I'm thinking of. How do you kill them? How do you close out? And you kind of close out with Doom Guards. You are at 25 at Stanford, and you are relatively safe. I can't think of any combination of cards that. So Leroy, Cold Blood is 14 damage. Shadow Step. No, you're dead to a very exact hand, actually.
Yeah.
You're safe against most things, but you're dead to a very exact hand. It has to be Leroy, Cold Blood, Shadow Step. That has to be USC's hand in order to lose the game, and that's actually possible. So Stanford decided to not take any risks and just go Gul'dan. Yeah, wait, no, you'd be below 25. Never mind, you'd be at 23 if you went Blackie.
2 Doom Guards. Ooh.
Top deck Dark Pack, so it all works out, right?
Yep, that's lethal.
Also Spellstone at 5, yeah. 3-0. Now, looking at the lineups, I knew Rogue was going to be a weak point for mostly this reason. The only good matchup across all 4 of Stanford's decks was exactly the matchup they just played and lost to. It was the Warlock.
Yeah, they were really pushing to, and I think that USC knew that probably going into it. They knew that the Miracle Rogue was their weakest deck, and that they had to make it work.
They knew they had to get the win, and it just fell short.
Yeah, and so even though they went 3-0, it was because of strategic deck choices that they went 3-0, right? Because they knew that if they couldn't get the Miracle Rogue to win against that Warlock, then there wasn't going to be any chance of them winning. There's no point in playing a better deck, or quote better deck, just to try and get their score up or anything.
Yeah. I mean, good decks good plays.
Yeah.
Both teams played
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, so congratulations to Stanford on that win and to USC. Thanks for playing. Let's take one last look at the lineup for today that we went through. So wins today, Oregon and Arizona State are going to go into the next week with a win under their belt, with Colorado and UCLA looking to see if they can pull out of their first loss of the season. There's still a lot of time. There's still 6 more weeks of group play for all of these teams to face each other, but it's really good games today.
Yeah.
I was impressed by basically everybody that we watched today.
Yeah. Solid play all around. Very close series.
Yeah.
Every time. Everyone except the show match was.
Yeah.
Like,
went to game 5.
it wasn't even like 2 game 5. It was close. It was 2 game 5. The turn it was 1. Close.
Yeah. And so yeah. Thanks everybody for watching tonight. This will be the end of our broadcast. First of all, we wanted to thank everybody here at the production studio. All of our broadcasters are volunteers here at the University of Utah helping out, and so thanks to them for helping. Thanks for you for watching. All of your subscriptions and any of the ad revenue or anything that we get all goes towards keeping this kind of production alive and continuing to do more cool tournaments like this. So thank you guys for your support. And if you want to follow more of this, you can subscribe to Pacific ACG on Twitch or University of Utah Esports. That's where we're going to be continuing to do the broadcasts. You can also follow Pacific ACG on Twitter and Facebook. And be sure to follow us too. I'm at Jerem Norris on Twitter.
I'm at Aluna_HS.
All right. And thanks for watching. Tomorrow night, be sure to tune in, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 6 p.m. Pacific. We will have Rocket League right here on this stream. And if you're just interested in Hearthstone, then we will be back next Thursday night at the same time. So yeah, I'm Solar.
I'm Aluna.
And thank you very much for watching. Have a great night and game on.
Burning down the walls, we let the monsters in, and now we're burning down the halls. No, we can't let them win. There's an evil inside, it is lurking way down below. And if I can't hold my breath, then I'm bound to become hollow. Can you say that I disappeared? Can you say that I wasn't there for you?